888-865-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
PNC Bank couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. But you may be wondering, isn't PNC that boring bank? Well, is starting a business or being the first person in your family to go to college boring? For 160 years, they've done the occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. That's why they have dedicated teams throughout the local area ready to help you unlock your own brilliance. See what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
May is National Burger Month, so grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's Sports Grill for a big Burger Blitz celebration. Enjoy Duffy's award-winning half-pound certified Angus beef original cheeseburger and french fries, starting at just $8.99 with the purchase of any beverage. Plus, don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks, all day, every day. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more, and remember, at Duffy's, our game is always on.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Knicks coming back in Game 3, I think, was one of the best things that could happen for the NBA because there have certainly been some really good ratings in the playoffs so far within the NBA, specifically with that Game 3. 6.6 million people watched that New York Knicks Indiana Pacer Game 3 in Indiana, where the Knicks stormed back from being down as much as 20 to go on and win the game. Does the NBA need a big name like New York to be in the playoffs to continue this streak of good ratings? Time will tell, but 6.6 million speaks for itself. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-7473. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 1063. The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 1063.
Oh, it's a cannon shot! Go ahead and give him the goal of the week!
This is the Inter Miami pregame show, live from the ESPN West Palm studios. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Ho, ho, ho! Let's go! Our Inter Miami Herons back at Chase Stadium after securing what I hope to be the draw that started it all. Welcome on back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Talked to you last Saturday. Got a lot of fixtures these next couple of days. We were obviously live with the game this past Saturday, live tonight, and we will be live this Saturday as the Inter Miami Herons will wrap up their MLS play at least for a couple of weeks because June 14th, that thing called the Club FIFA World Cup will be kicking off against Al Ahly. Obviously, FC Porto, Palmeiras, a bunch of teams, Inter Miami will be facing off in that Club FIFA World Cup in their group stage. But two more MLS fixtures we got for you here on ESPN 1063 before we send it to our good friends at FIFA. Mentioned tonight, Montreal, Saturday, Columbus. I want to focus on the matter at hand tonight. I got starting 11s. For the Herons tonight and Montreal too. But let's start with our Herons. And listen, I don't want to open the curtain too far here, but it's like Javier Mascherano was reading the text conversations between Ken LaVicka and myself because I mentioned to Ken I wanted Jordi Alba back in position and Telasco Segovia starting out on the wing. And what do I get? I get a big slice of Jordi Alba back in position and Telasco Segovia back out on the wing. Technically in the midfield, let me explain. 4-4-2. 4-4-2 yet again for Inter Miami. Let's start in the back, work our way up front as we always do. Oscar Ustari is between the posts and in goal tonight, and he will always be between the posts and in goal if healthy. I'm starting to believe that as Javier Mascherano is sticking with Oscar Ustari after a couple of, subpar performances the last couple of games. Defenders, I mentioned Jordi Alba back in position at left back, Noah Allen left center back, Gonzalo Luan right center back, and Ian Frey playing right fullback. Ian Frey is second straight game starting over Marcelo Wagon. A little interesting note there. Now let's move on to the midfield. I mentioned Segovia out on the wing midfield. I think he's going to be playing more up the pitch than back. But Segovia left mid. Federico Redondo, who is starting for the injured Yannick Bright. It's a big loss for Inter Miami. Yannick Bright, I call him the battery. Goes box to box, does everything. Passes, shoots when he has to. Not so much shoots when he has to, but you get what I'm saying. Does everything. Defends, part of the attack, good passer. It's a big miss, Yannick Bright not being in that lineup, but Redondo will try to handle things at that midfield pivot, left center mid, Sergio Busquets playing right center mid, that deep line playmaker role, and Tadio Allende, who has 2 goals, 3 goals in his last 3 games. He had a brace 3 games ago, and he had a goal last game. So in his last 3 games, 3 goals, counting a brace against San Jose and a goal last matchup against Philadelphia. Did not score against Orlando City because nobody scored against Orlando City. But Allende pretty hot his last 3 fixtures in the MLS, 3 goals in 3 games. Luis Suarez playing left striker. Lionel Messi playing the right striker. So that's your 4-4-2. Alba, Noah Allen, Gonzalo Luan, Ian Frey, Segovia, Redondo, Busquets, Allende, and then Suarez and Messi. So 4-4-2. And then Oscar Ustari in goal. Shocker, 4-4-2 for Montreal. Also joked around with Ken saying it's like I'm watching early 2000s Premier League football with 2 strikers up top. The last 2 fixtures we've seen, both teams ran a 4-4-2. Philadelphia and Inter Miami, both teams 4-4-2. This game, Montreal and Inter Miami, 4-4-2. And obviously, this is a big difference between Philadelphia and Montreal with Uri up top and Ty Baribo, the golden boot, if the MLS season were to end right now, Ty Baribo with 13 goals. But I'll tell you what, I was shocked to hear Ken Levicka tell me that this Montreal team is better than advertised, better than their record, because they have 8 points on the MLS table right now, and they're 15th in the Western Conference. But let's go through their starting 11. In goal, they have Jonathan Sirois, the Canadian, in between the posts tonight for Montreal. Their right back is Joel Waterman. Their right center back is George Campbell. Left center back, Jalen Neal. And their left fullback is Luca Petrasso. Luca Petrasso, the young Canadian. Moving on to the midfield, you got Dante Seeley coming off the right mid. Right center mid, Nathan Saliba. Left center mid, Victor Luturi. And their left midfielder is going to be Tom Pierce. So a lot of Canadians and a lot of Americans in this lineup tonight for Montreal. And Tom Pierce, the Englishman, off of the left mid. Let's get to their 2 strikers. We'll save the best for last. Their first striker is Giacomo Vironi. The Albanian 26-year-old striker will be coming off of the right side. And then, in my opinion, their best player, Prince Use Owusu, the 28-year-old from Ghana. He leads the team in goals with 4, 2 assists. He has 6 goal contributions on the year. So certainly a player I think Javier Mascherano and the side for Inter Miami who's going to be focusing on is going to be Prince Owusu, who is their leading goal scorer and could be deadly when he gets the ball on his feet. Both sides, Montreal and Inter Miami, are winless in their last 4 games in all competitions. While Montreal are dwelling at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, Inter Miami need a win to start climbing the standings. I think that's an understatement, right? I'm more worried. I'm not worried about the MLS standings right now. It's May. We're playing till October, folks. Newsflash, Inter Miami is going to make the playoffs. God, I'm going to have to eat a big crow if they don't. But newsflash, Inter Miami is going to make the playoffs. I'm more worried about the fitness of the team, or rather the action that's going on the pitch as we head into the Club FIFA World Cup. The quality of play. How about that? Because You're going to play 4 tough opponents at the Club FIFA World Cup. I want to make sure the Herons are ready and ready to put their best foot forward coming up June 14th. But things obviously have not gone exactly to plan for Javier Mascherano as defensive deficiencies continue to rear and rather, be the toxicity of the club right now. Last game, the 3 goals, in my opinion, and I think Ken would agree with me, all self-inflicted. And we'll listen to those highlights coming up in segment number 2 as we go through every goal-scoring play that happened on the pitch in the 3-3 draw that Inter Miami was able to secure against Philadelphia. By the way, that draw that Inter Miami was able to secure marked the first time in club history that Inter Miami overcame a 2-goal deficit in the 85th minute or later. So some history was made in that fixture against Philadelphia this past weekend. But we will be hearing every goal-scoring play with our good friend Ken Levica on the call next segment. But back to kind of previewing this one a little bit more. Both teams are winless in their last 4. Mascherano and the defense has been a nightmare. And you got the Club FIFA World Cup looming for our Inter Miami Herons. David Ruiz, and Baltasar Rodriguez were sidelined last week, and they're recovering from hamstring injuries. And I mentioned Yannick Bright not available for Inter Miami again. So 3 players with hamstring injuries with Ruiz, Rodriguez, and Yannick Bright. And not to mention Drake Callender, the everyday goalkeeper last year for the Herons, will not be back until July, hence why they signed the Mexican-American Yarborough. Yarborough, certainly a goalkeeper, an experienced goalkeeper for Inter Miami. Inter Miami also has Rocco Rios Novo, the young Argentinian who played for Javier Mascherano in the Olympics. So you do have 3 goalkeepers on the club after signing Yarborough, the Mexican American. But we do have our starting 11s, as I mentioned already. We'll continue to go through those 11s as we progress through the show. I'll make sure I hit them, break in and break out to make sure you guys know who is the starting 11 for our Herons. By the way, a couple of you guys in the YouTube chat, yes, Lionel Messi is playing. I was talking with Elias Bustamante, one of our 760 AM Deportes men. Does a great job over there on the Spanish side for all you Spanish speakers listen to us. But Elias, I had a conversation with him. He goes, Riz, Messi's playing no matter what right now. They need results. They need wins as they go into the Club FIFA World Cup. I could almost ink him in about that for this fixture coming up against Columbus at Chase Stadium as well, barring knocking on wood. He stays healthy in the fixture coming up tonight. But both teams with the 4-4-2 will get you those lineups as well coming up when we come back. But Montreal, 8 points. Inter Miami in the playoffs. You guys put 2 and 2 together. I'm expecting a big win for the Herons. We'll continue to break this one down on the Inter Miami Radio Network. We are powered by our local South Florida Audi dealer. Get on out to your local South Florida Audi dealer and test drive that brand new Q6 e-tron today. Taking our first time out of the pregame show. When we come back, we'll continue to break down Inter Miami and Montreal. I'll give you the starting 11s again. We'll hear every goal-scoring play that happened in the 3-3 draw against Philadelphia. Once again, the last time I was on this microphone, Inter Miami made history. It marked the first time in club history that Inter Miami overcame a 2-goal deficit in the 85th minute or later. Coming right back on the Inter Miami Radio Network.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
PNC Bank couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. But you may be wondering, isn't PNC that boring bank? Well, is starting a business or being the first person in your family to go to college boring? For 160 years, they've done the occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. That's why they have dedicated teams throughout the local area ready to help you unlock your own brilliance. See what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Breaking news on ESPN 1063 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 1063 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 1063 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 1063 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at kaisergolfcenter.com.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 1063. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Rolling along here on the pregame show. Inter Miami against Montreal. Action coming your way in about 20-ish minutes. Calling my shot. I got a 7:39. I think that ball will be rolling at 7:39 tonight at Chase Stadium. I'm willing to put some Imperial Galactic credits on the line, too, for those listening down the line there at Chase Stadium. But we're expected to get the ball rolling here in just a few minutes. Our second segment of the pregame show. And, folks, the pregame show is powered by your local South Florida Audi dealer. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi technology. It's not just a new electric vehicle. It's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Q6 e-tron, the next chapter is here with our good friends at Audi. Test drive the 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron at your local South Florida Audi dealer today, or visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. And we are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealers. Now, before we get into the highlights that happened, the 6 goals that were scored the last time we were on the airwaves here against Philadelphia, let's get you the starting 11s on both sides again for for Montreal. I keep saying Vancouver. For Montreal and Inter Miami. And by the way, big difference between Vancouver and Montreal this year out on the pitch. Just look at the Western Conference table. But Montreal doing battle with our Herons at Chase Stadium tonight. 4-4-2 on both sides. Oscar Ustari is between the posts for our Herons. Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Gonzalo Lujan, Ian Frey. That's your back line. Your midfield, Telasco Segovia, Federico Redondo, Sergio Busquets, Tadio Allende, and then Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi playing dual partnership striking positions up top for the Herons. For Montreal, you got Sirois in between the posts and goal. Waterman, Campbell, Neal, and Petrasso. That's the back line for Montreal. The midfield, Sealy, Saliba, Lutori, and Pierce. And then the top strikers, the two strikers up top, Vironi and Owusu. More on that in a little bit. We'll preview the game again coming up in our final segment of the pregame show. I got a lot more stuff to bring up between Montreal and Inter Miami. So stay tuned for that. But those are your starting 11s. And yes, Lionel Messi in the starting lineup. Speaking of Lionel Messi, folks, voting is now open for the MLS All-Star Game. Go to MLSsoccer.com/vote. That is MLSsoccer.com/vote. Voting opened at noon today, and voting will close June 11th at 11:59. 26 total players will be selected for the All-Star Game. The selection process breaks down as following, according to the MLS. 12 players determined by voting. Fans, players, and media each are weighted as a third of the combined vote. 12 players selected by Austin FC and MLS All-Star Game coach Nico Estevez. 2 players selected by the MLS commissioner Don Garber. Votes will be casted based on a 4-1-2-3 formation. Once again, go to MLSsoccer.com/vote. Let's get a couple of our Inter Miami Herons in there. Obviously, Lionel Messi will be a no-brainer. I think Luis Suarez is a fringe guy. Guy has 6 assists and 2 goals. I don't see him not being a part of the competition. Jordi Alba, I think, will be in the competition with the 4 assists. And then after that, I probably would vote Tadio Allende and Yannick Bright. But Bright's going to be missing the next 2 games. But, folks, to get our Inter Miami Herons in the All-Star Game, go to MLSsoccer.com/vote. Voting opened at noon today. Voting will close on June the 11th. Let's get into the goal-scoring highlights that happened the last time we were on these airwaves with our Inter Miami radio network. Let's throw it to Ken LaVicka real quick as we go through the 6 scoring plays. Let's hear Quinn Sullivan. Sullivan had a great week last week, getting the call up from the USA national team, and Maurizio Pochettino, the head gaffer for the U.S. men's national team. And he also scored this cracker of a goal.
And it's a short corner. Left side of the box, and what a shot and a goal! Right foot curler, left side of the area and inside the far post. That is a magnificent Philadelphia Union goal. And Ustari, flat-footed, did not stand a chance. In the 8th minute, Philadelphia Union strikes Inter Miami. And the sieve for the Inter Miami defense is turned into a dam break. They cannot stop conceding. 1-0. Philadelphia Union on a gorgeous, gorgeous shot. There was no defending it. And it's Quinn Sullivan. What a week he has had. Named to his first UN men's national team roster, and he scores an absolute golazo to make it 1-0, minute number 7. Philadelphia Union with the lead.
Beautiful goal indeed. And I said during the halftime show that no Inter Miami defender came out to defend the short corner. Usually a defender shadows the player going for the short corner. Inter Miami didn't do that. And that resulted in Philadelphia and Kai Wagner being able to play a ball to Quinn Ewers in the box. Quinn Sullivan. And then Sullivan was able to change from his left foot to his right foot to his dominant foot and finesse a goal top right corner. Unacceptable. And in my opinion, all 3 goals that Philadelphia scored were all because of Inter Miami defensive blunders. Let's listen to the second one. This is Ty Baribo getting in the 44th minute right before halftime.
Now Vasilev, left side of the box, headed it into the middle, and then Lujan's late to get there. Here's Baribo, scored! That is unacceptable from the Inter Miami defense. hesitation, and Baribo has his 12th goal of the year. It's 2-0 Philadelphia Union. The defensive dysfunction is killing this football team.
Once again, a self-inflicted goal for Inter Miami. Ty Baribo was not done on the night, though. We'll wait for that in the second half. Speaking of second half action, the Herons really dominated the second half. Now, Ty Baribo will try to argue that as we go through the goal-scoring plays. Baribo gets a brace later on, but Tadio Allende gets the Herons on the board in the 60th minute.
Sweeps it left of the area. Noah Allen, his feet into the box, and a goal! Tadio Allende unmarked on a beautiful feed from Allen, and Allende's pulled one back. He's able to blast it by Rick with a soaring tally. Inter Miami within one. It's 2-1, and it's game on at the hour mark.
Game on indeed, but Ty Baribo, and folks, at this point, when Baribo scores this goal, another self-inflicted goal by the Herons, I thought it was all but over at 3-1. Folks, Baribo scored this in the 73rd minute. It would have taken an absolute disaster by Philadelphia Union to blow this game and not get the full three. Obviously, that's what happens. But let's take a listen to Baribo getting in and making it 3-1 and making it feel like all hope was lost.
It's still pinballing around in the box, and it somehow fell to Baribo, who has scored short range near post. Slots it in past Nustari. Another defensive disaster for Inter Miami. And it's 3-1 Philadelphia. And that's likely going to do it in the 73rd minute.
To Ken's point, Inter Miami had to break a record to get a result on the road. I've mentioned numerous times the 3-3 draw against Philadelphia marked the first time in Inter Miami history that the Herons were able to overcome a 2-goal deficit in the 85th minute or later. Let's fast forward to the 87th minute where Lionel Messi is doing Lionel Messi things.
Here's a free kick from Lionel Messi. This comes from 23 yards. Straight on direct free kick. Messi approaches and he scores! Upper left! Messi planted it! A signature free kick goal for Lionel Messi. Inter Miami back within one with 4 minutes left to go. Messi 6th of the year and vintage magic from the greatest of all time.
That goal right there earned Lionel Messi match day honors. He was part of the match day of the week team for week 15. It is the third time Messi has been selected to a match day honoree team. Fourth. I'm at your mercy. Match day 15, match day 6, match day 4, and match day 1. So Lionel Messi and that goal, getting him on the match day honoree list. In total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players for Inter Miami have gotten match day honorees throughout the entire season. So certainly not a stranger to the match day honoree, and Lionel Messi earned it with that goal. But it wasn't over because Telesco Segovia had a cracker of a goal from outside of the box. And listen, they didn't give Messi the assist on this. I thought maybe they should have. But Telesco Segovia with the goal, and I think it was set up by the great one.
And it's won by Alba. Messi to Pico. Back to Messi. Messi nutmegs a man to Segovia. Segovia, right foot, scored! From the top of the box, Telesco Segovia has drawn us level 3-3 with a minute left to play. Inter Miami on the verge of stealing a point on the road. What guts! What fortitude from Inter Miami! They put on pressure and more pressure, and it pays off. And Segovia's drawn us level 3-3. Absolutely incredible.
And that's how that one would end. What a call by Ken Levica on that. 3-3. Inter Miami picks up a draw and once again marked the first time in club history Inter Miami overcame a 2-goal deficit in the 85th minute or later. Messi scoring in the 87th, and then Telesco Segovia at the death in extra time, getting the draw on the road. Good job by the Herons. Let's hope that's the draw that started it all. Is that going to catch on? I mean, maybe. Let's hope that's the draw that started it all. It's not going to catch on if I keep fumbling. But regardless, Montreal tonight will get you starting 11s. Again, Inter Miami versus Montreal at Chase Stadium. We'll give you the starting 11s when we return. I got a couple more news-ish, notes-ish kind of thing as we enter this game. Inter Miami on that Eastern Conference table, they are 7th, and Montreal 15. This is a game I think that the Herons are going to win convincingly. Let's hope I'm right. Coming up around 7:39 is where the odds makers are saying that this one is going to kick off. Like I said, for those listening down the line, I got some Imperial Galactic credits that it'll probably be 7:39 or later that this one starts. We're coming right back on the Inter Miami Radio Network.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
PNC Bank couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. But you may be wondering, isn't PNC that boring bank? Well, is starting a business or being the first person in your family to go to college boring? For 160 years, they've done the occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. That's why they have dedicated teams throughout the local area ready to help you unlock your own brilliance. See what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV, it's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The next chapter of Audi is here.
Did you miss Theoretically Speaking?
My wife is a docent in training for the Norton Museum of Art. She is a woman of the arts. She works in the arts.
So, Tina, what's a docent?
A docent?
Is it kind of like a tour guide?
Yeah, they're the historian. They get into the depth of what you're actually looking at instead of you just looking at the piece yourself and saying, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be me.
That would be me, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just like how she can watch a game here and there and be like, yeah, I like that. She fills me in on the arts. I get her on the sports. Pablo Picasso, have you heard of?
It's Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2, here on ESPN 106.3.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Football legends collide at the opening match of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Al Ahly versus Inter Miami. Messi, Jordi Alba, and Inter Miami take on Jamal Mashour and Mohamed El Shenawi of the Egyptian powerhouse Al Ahly. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a train comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to edsisyes.com. That's edsisyes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Our final segment on the Inter Miami pregame show. We are moments away from sending it to our good pal and voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka. We have action, MLS action. Inter Miami versus Montreal. Montreal 15th on that MLS Western Conference table, while our Herons are sitting in 7th place. Inter Miami has one win in their last 5 games. Both teams are winless in their last 4. But I do have a couple more news-ish, notes-ish things to go through here. Wednesday's meeting, tonight's meeting, will be the 11th between the teams in Inter Miami history. In all, Inter Miami has recorded 3 wins, 6 losses, and a draw in the past matches against the Canadian side. The last time out, back in 2024, Inter Miami claimed all 3 points on the road in a 3-2 triumphant victory almost 365 days ago last May. Meanwhile, on the Montreal side, Montreal will visit South Florida after most recently drawing 2-2 at home against LAFC on Saturday in the last regular season fixture. And in all, Montreal has recorded 8 points. 8 points. 1 win, 5 draws, 9 losses. So that's where the 8 comes from. They sit 15th in the in the Eastern Conference. I keep saying they're in the Western Conference, Eastern Conference. I keep thinking Vancouver is Montreal. Montreal is Vancouver. I'm thinking Quinn Sullivan is Quinn Ewers. I'm all over the place. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. But a battle of the Eastern Conference, 15th versus 7. And for Montreal, forward Prince Owusu is the team's leader with 4 goals and 2 assists so far in the regular season. He could be dangerous, folks, if he gets the ball on his foot. I mentioned the last time Inter Miami was out against Philadelphia, history was broken. It was the first time in club history that Inter Miami overcame a 2-goal deficit in the 85th minute or later. Listen, I want this phrase to catch on. That was the draw that started it all. The draw that started it all. Let's go to our final timeout. We will throw things pitch side to Ken LaVicka. Inter Miami versus Montreal coming your way, coming up next. Ken will go through the starting 11s again. If you're just joining us, Lionel Messi will be playing. It's a 4-4-2 for both sides. But if you did miss me, go through the starting 11s. Ken will have it for you once we come back again from break. Appreciate everyone who listened to the pregame show. Time to take you pitch side, with Ken LaVicka and our OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez, the Inter Miami Radio Network. The ball rolling when we return.
May is National Burger Month, so grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's Sports Grill for a big Burger Blitz celebration. Enjoy Duffy's award-winning half-pound certified Angus beef original cheeseburger and french fries, starting at just $8.99 with the purchase of any beverage. Plus, don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks, all day, every day. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more, and remember, at Duffy's, our game is always on.
Breaking news on ESPN by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Knicks coming back in Game 3, I think, was one of the best things that could happen for the NBA because there have certainly been some really good ratings in the playoffs so far within the NBA, specifically with that Game 3. 6.6 million people watched that New York Knicks Indiana Pacer Game 3 in Indiana, where the Knicks stormed back from being down as much as 20 to go on and win the game. Does the NBA need a big name like New York to be in the playoffs to continue this streak of good ratings? Time will tell, but 6.6 million speaks for itself. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Hey, Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
May is National Burger Month, so grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's Sports Grill for a big Burger Blitz celebration. Enjoy Duffy's award-winning half-pound certified Angus beef original cheeseburger and french fries, starting at just $8.99 with the purchase of any beverage. Plus, don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks, all day, every day. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more, and remember, at Duffy's, our game is always on.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch.
Oh, it's a cannon shot. Go ahead and give him the goal of the week.
Here's Ken LaVicka.
After an unlikely, thrilling, and fortitude-filled comeback draw at Philadelphia, can Inter Miami finally pick up an elusive win? After going 4 matches without one, they have a great opportunity tonight. It is the bottom dwellers of the Eastern Conference, Club Foot Montreal, into Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Will this be a get-right game for Inter Miami? That is the hope of Javier Mascherano and company. And a very special good evening to you. Midweek football in South Florida, Wednesday night at Chase Stadium. It is Inter Miami and Montreal. I am Ken LaVicka. Alongside me in Fort Lauderdale is the OT, our on-site engineer, Oscar Gonzalez, and great work, as always, back in the network studios in West Palm Beach, Mike Rizzo, who handled the pregame festivities, and we'll hear from him again at halftime. Inter Miami coming off of a 3-3 draw at Philadelphia, and as Mike Rizzo was mentioning in the pregame show, first time in club history that Inter Miami scores twice inside of the 85th minute in order to get a result. Montreal, meanwhile, a satisfying draw, and what could have been for them. Yes, Montreal is 15th, last place in the East, but a well-earned 2-2 draw at home against LAFC on Saturday. And Montreal continuing an upward trend after a disastrous start to the 2025 campaign. Let's go through the starting 11s for Inter Miami under first-year manager Javier Mascherano. Oscar Ustari is in goal with a back four of Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Gonzalo Lujan, and Ian Frey. That, of course, left to right. Same story for Velasco Segovia, Federico Redondo, Sergio Busquets, and Tadeo Allende in the midfield. And up top, 2 forwards, Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi, per usual with the captain's armband. For Montreal, their veteran goalkeeper Jonathan Sirwa is between the sticks. Left to right defensively, Luco Petrasso, Jalen Neal, George Campbell, and Joel Waterman. In the midfield, Tom Pierce, Victor Laturi, Nathan Saliba, and Dante Seeley. And then it is Giacomo Brioni, one of the forwards, and the second forward is Prince Owusu with 4 goals and 2 assists in the 2025 campaign. That is Marco Donadel. his starting 11, the interim manager for Montreal. It'll be Inter Miami to open possession. Our referee is John Freeman, and we await his whistle on this Wednesday night. It is warm. It is muggy. There is our whistle, and we are underway. Inter Miami and Montreal. This is the first of two between these two Eastern Conference sides in 2025. Inter Miami winless in their last 4, 2 3-goal defeats and 2 draws. Inter Miami 6 victories on the year, 3 defeats, 5 draws, 23 points in the table coming into tonight. 7th in the East, but a game in hand on every single side ahead of them in the Eastern Conference table. Meanwhile, it has been a season to forget for CF Montreal. Only one win. That came May 10th at NYCFC, a 1-0 triumph, 9 defeats, and 5 draws, 8 points. Last place, 15th in the Eastern Conference. However, things have been turning around a bit for Montreal after firing their manager, Laurent Courtois, back on March 24th. That was after a 3-0 loss to Nashville. Montreal tabbed Marco Donadel, elevated him from within the staff to the interim manager, and it has been better. Only the 1 victory, 5 defeats, 4 draws under Donadel, but 8 goals for, 16 goals against. But within that stretch is a 6-1 defeat at home to Toronto. If you erase that, Montreal under Donadel has not played a single match where it has been decided by more than a goal. It has been a stubborn, stingy CF Montreal side, and handling in his own box with his right foot is Jonathan Sirois for Montreal as this is played back. And we are through 90 seconds in this match. Again, Inter Miami attacking right to left in pink, head to toe. Montreal, meanwhile, with their blue tops and black shorts, white lettering, numbering, and trim. A foul against Montreal. It'll be a free kick from just inside the midfield stripe to the right of the center circle. And Lionel Messi gets us back under play. And Inter Miami will try and build out of the back after it was pushed into the Inter Miami right defensive half. Inter Miami, 15 first-half goals this season. That is second in Major League Soccer, but they haven't scored in the opening 45 in 3 of their last 4. But here comes a racing Suarez up the far right side. Left attacking third. Suarez into the box. Able to shed a defender. Onto his right foot. Got to the right end line. Played it back heel. And that was deflected. And it was Suarez with the attempt. Frey making the run for Inter Miami. That was a really good run from Frey, showing off that track speed. Suarez tried to flick it with a back heel. And a defender was able to get a piece. And that ends that threat, perhaps a bit ambitious there from Luis Suarez. It was Tom Pierce for Montreal from his midfield position, able to get a touch on that ball before it made its way to the goalkeeper, Jonathan Sirois, with nothing left on it momentum-wise. Nearly 3.5 minutes into this one. Last season, both sides split 3-2 results. Inter Miami trying to build up in the left attacking third. Messi on the turn. Messi right of the penalty arc. Messi at the right side of the box. Low cross. It's on to Segovia. And then it takes a carom across the far right end line. And it's going to be a goal kick for Montreal. Segovia just a heavy touch right outside of the 6-yard box on another good delivery by Inter Miami. And that time it was Allende who tried to serve it up to Segovia, and Segovia frustrated with himself off the poor touch as he biffed it across the end line. But Inter Miami is asking some major questions here early. Montreal, meanwhile, away from Quebec. They have not scored a single goal before halftime away from Montreal this season. So Inter Miami would love if they could continue that trend here tonight. Let's not forget, though, Orlando City hadn't scored both halves away coming into their match against Inter Miami a week and a half ago here in Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando City promptly scored both halves. Inter Miami collects the ball in the right defensive half. Again, Inter Miami clad in pink per usual here tonight. Ian Frey keeps the ball in play on the far left touchline, but Montreal over to gain possession in the defensive portion of the midfield. Now a long ball up ahead, chested down by Seeley, but played well by Jordi Alba to eliminate a potential threat that was developing for Montreal. And it's back to Ustari, plays it right into the middle for Busquets, in from his defensive midfield position. Sprays it out wide to the right onto Ian Frey. Inter Miami making 2 changes from the 11 that we saw at Philadelphia last Saturday. Telasco Segovia in the 11 after featuring as a substitute and scoring the dazzling match-tying goal that eventually gave Inter Miami the point on the road. He's in the 11. Tomas Aviles was in the back 4. He is not in the 11 tonight, which is why Segovia is inserted. And Jordi Alba, who started in the midfield, goes back to left back where he typically is as the ball is played through, but unable to get on the end of it was Jordi Alba in the left attacking third, and it'll roll harmlessly out of play near left end line. And Sirois has a goal kick for Montreal. Federico Redondo in the 11 after he was a first half substitute replacing the injured Yannick Bright, who has a hamstring and is not available tonight for Javier Mascherano. For Montreal, 3 changes from the draw at home against LAFC. Joel Waterman getting the start at right back. Victor Laturi in the midfield, and Tom Pierce as well. And a whistle and a foul against Inter Miami in Montreal's right attacking half, as the men in blue were trying to develop something in the attack for a rare time in the opening nearly 7 minutes here in Fort Lauderdale. 0-0 Inter Miami and CF Montreal. And we welcome you to our 7th minute of action here from South Florida. Kickoff temperature, despite cloud cover, is 84 degrees, and it is heavy, humid air. It has been unbearably hot the last couple of weeks. Summer has been in effect here in South Florida. Lionel Messi nearly grabbed possession back for Inter Miami in the midfield, but Montreal wins it back, and now they go far side to near side, working the ball to Seeley. Seeley, top of the box extended, near side, right side, step over into the box. Now at the top, here's a shot from the penalty arc just wide with a left foot. Good chance for Montreal, and it's Saliba who decided to give it a ride. That did not miss by much. Far post, it was curling. Ustari watched it wide, but Seeley with a good hit. Not on target, but certainly threatening. And Montreal has officially found itself into this match. Dante Seeley, signed by Montreal in February. Spent time prior to coming to Montreal with PSV Eindhoven, their reserves from 21 to 23. Was in the FC Dallas Academy, played for North Texas, the USL League One champions 2019. That was the inaugural year of that league. Montreal, a little bit of the ball here in the last couple of minutes, as 8.5 has just ticked across here at Chase Stadium. Last year, May the 11th, in Montreal, Inter Miami 3 and CF Montreal 2. It was Suarez scoring 45 plus 3. Ben Kremoski with a goal in the 59th minute. And earlier last season, March the 10th, Montreal came in here to Chase Stadium, beat Inter Miami 3-2. Campana and Alba were the goal scorers for Inter Miami. Inter Miami now in its right defensive midfield. It looks like there is a banged up Inter Miami player who is crouched over and clutching at his stomach. And it appears to be Lujan for Inter Miami. Now he's gone to ground on the far right side in the right defensive third. Ian Frey is trying to get somebody's attention to stop play. And Inter Miami, Sergio Busquets after a foul was called against Montreal, just tried a quick restart, completely ignoring the fact that Lujan is laying on his back and needs some sort of medical attention. I think he took a shot to the midsection, did Gonzalo Lujan. He is in the defensive half, the right side of the pitch for Inter Miami, on his back. A couple of teammates are coming over to check on him, and now here comes the Inter Miami physio. And already, Maxi Falcone and Davi Martinez are up and getting loose for Inter Miami. And there is Tomas Aviles, who is looking like he's about to potentially come on already for Inter Miami. So Inter Miami, in the last two matches, will have had to make a first-half injury substitution. Yannick Bright last week in Philadelphia, with Federico Redondo taking him off, and it looks like Tomas Aviles is going to take off Gonzalo Lujan in the 11th minute. Aviles put on the shirt, didn't even have the penny on, just did a couple of quick sprints along the touchline, and now he's ready to come in for Javier Mascherano. Lujan got a little bit of the famous spray, but I don't think that's going to be enough to keep him on. Is he going to try and hobble it off, or is his night over? The fourth referee has the substitution board up, and it is indeed going to be the end of the night for Gonzalo Lujan. Lujan lasts only 11 minutes and has to give way for Tomas Aviles, who started at Philadelphia back on Saturday night. So before the Club World Cup, injuries are starting to pile up here for Javier Mascherano. And Inter Miami, not only is the side not in good form, they have not won in each of their previous four. But now you've got a pivotal injury. It appears hamstring to Yannick Bright. Baltasar Rodriguez, you don't know if he's going to be available after playing only 18 minutes this season and coming up with an assist at San Jose in those 18 minutes. This is certainly concerning if you're Inter Miami. So Inter Miami will try and play out of the back after the first substitution comes in the 11th minute. We are now just past 12 minutes on this clock here at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami taking on the last place team in the Eastern Conference, Montreal. Inter Miami at 7th in the East. Again, above the playoff line, comes at 9th place. Montreal last season was the 8th place team in the East, but lost in the wild card match to Atlanta United. And we know what happened there. Atlanta United would come in and beat Inter Miami in the opening round of the MLS Cup playoffs. Ustari feeds the ball into the defensive midfield for Lionel Messi and is able to traverse through three defenders. He was bracketed in a triangle, and he earns the whistle. And it's a foul against Montreal, and that move for Messi, slithering and sliding his way through traffic as only he can with the yo-yo on his feet, draws oohs and ahs from a very impressed crowd, rightfully so. Pretty good crowd for a Wednesday night against a basement dweller here at Shea Stadium. And there is a breeze that has suddenly arrived as Inter Miami with a harmless long ball from the midfield that will bounce on to Sirois, the goalkeeper for Montreal, and he's going to dribble it outside his box. He's got two defensive options to either side, and he will feed it off to his right for Jalen Neal, who was acquired from LA Galaxy back in January, but didn't debut until May 16th. That disaster at home against Toronto, a 6-1 defeat. Neal, one of the pivotal offseason acquisitions for Montreal, but injuries keeping him from action. And it's no surprise, though, since he's come back, Montreal has looked like a much more formidable team. He is a good, young 21-year-old talent. Speaking of good young talents, Redondo for Inter Miami as Inter Miami approaches the left attacking third. Here's Jordi Alba from his left back position. Luis Suarez from the near side tried to send a ball to the far side. Nobody home, but it falls to Lionel Messi, who gets tripped up outside the penalty arc, and the referee says play on. Inter Miami, though, wins possession right back. Messi not happy with the lack of a whistle. Allende just outside the penalty arc, straight on. Gives it off to Alba. Alba tried to feed it into the area for Allende. That was broken up by this stingy Montreal defense, and a foul called against Frey of Inter Miami. And Montreal will have a defensive free kick. Now, Lionel Messi has not been getting that free kick call very often the last month and a half or so, where he drives forward with conviction, takes contact, goes to ground. These MLS referees have not been very kind to him, awarding him that whistle. Did get the whistle, rightfully so, because a card was shown as well last week in the 85th minute at Philadelphia, and all Messi did was plant the free kick. Absolute perfection, upper left, to pull Inter Miami to within a goal, and ultimately Inter Miami would earn the draw thanks to Telasco Segovia. As we bring you 15 and a half minutes in, Inter Miami and Montreal 0-0 here in Fort Lauderdale. Messi with that free kick goal moves into third all-time in the history of the sport in free kick goals. With 67, he is 3 away from a man who I think you've heard of before, who sits second, Pele. He has 70. And then the famous Brazilian Juninho has 77. So Lionel Messi only 10 away from tying the all-time footballing record, free kick goals in sanctioned play. Truly remarkable, this man, Lionel Messi. As we welcome you to the 17th minute, we have crossed the threshold here in Fort Lauderdale. And Montreal wins the ball, right attacking third. There was some strong footwork from Brioni, but he eventually lost the ball to Tomas Aviles. Made a pretty good defensive play. Now Inter Miami trying to build out of the back. Busquets in the midfield. And he will stop just shy of the center circle defensive half and finally roll it across the midfield stripe to Suarez. Short range Redondo. Now Segovia pushes it back to Busquets. Busquets takes a pass from Aviles. And then Jordi Alba wins the ball in the left attacking half on the near side. Into the center circle, attacking portion of the midfield, Segovia. Messi tried to make a turn and a jersey grab and a foul against Montreal. Messi got the call there. And it'll be a free kick. So it does be pushed back into possession for Inter Miami. Way too much distance to try and feed anything into the box or attack the goal. This is about 39, 40 yards away. Sergio Busquets will stand over it for Inter Miami. It's the whistle to go ahead from the referee, John Freeman, and sends it to Redondo, right in the middle channel. Redondo gives it off Messi. Now to Segovia, able to play through to the box. Suarez, right footed shot, took a deflection, and it sails wide of the goal. I thought it went off Jalen Neal, but the referee says goal kick. I thought there was certainly a deflection there. Messi was charging, his momentum carrying him away from goal, right side of the area. But no, Neal did not get a touch on that, so it will be a goal kick for Montreal. A good opportunity for Inter Miami. But Suarez just a bit off balance, and it sailed on him. But that's the type of buildup in the middle that we've been so critical of Inter Miami about, because they have not been able to connect, and defenses are anticipating it and plugging it up. But that is what Inter Miami has been seeking for about the last 4 matches, is that type of buildup in the middle channel. Good touches, good accuracy, just couldn't finish at the moment of truth. And a foul against Inter Miami in the defensive half. Down to the ground, banged up. It appeared initially for Montreal was Joel Waterman, and he is up. Montreal is going to have a free kick from the near side, left defensive half. Waterman plays for the Canadian national team, was with them in Qatar, the 2022 World Cup, as well as Copa America 2024. Here's a giveaway. Inter Miami wins the ball with Messi. Feeds it right side of the box. Suarez chips it to the middle, and Messi could not get enough behind a header just to the left of the penalty spot. He had to lean backwards. The pass wasn't quite on the mark, and he ends up putting the ball high off the top netting. Another opportunity for Inter Miami, but Suarez just a bit off on the feed to Messi, who was making a run right up the middle. But this is strong buildup for Inter Miami. No, they have not been able to finish, but this looks promising against A Montreal defense that, again, has been formidable. Outside of the 6-1 defeat against Toronto, with interim manager Marco Donadel at the helm, every single match outside of that Toronto meltdown has been decided by a goal, or it's been a draw. And Montreal's coming off of maybe its most encouraging result of the season in that 2-2 draw with LAFC last weekend. Here's Lionel Messi, right of the center circle in the defensive midfield. Right side of the pitch for Inter Miami. Now into the attacking left. Here come the Herons in pink. Alba had a pass denied, rolled right onto Lionel Messi, though, in front of the midfield circle. And now Inter Miami builds once again. Here's Jordi Alba, angling left on the left flank. Fed it off to Redondo, who got pushed in the back by Nathan Saliba. And it's going to be Inter Miami to restart play with Noah Allen. Here's a high square ball to the far right touchline, right of the box. Ian Frey collects on a good, accurate pass from Busquets. Messi tries to touch on a through ball to Frey. Frey was played off the ball, and Frey making a tackle along the far left touchline, but Montreal's Luca Petrasso was able to collect the ball, blast it off of Frey, who slid it into the seats about 8 rows up. And it'll be a throw-in, left defensive third for Montreal. Let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. It's Inter Miami football.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Chase Stadium. I'm Ken LaVicka. Oscar Gonzalez, the OG, our on-site engineer to my right. And back in the network studios in West Palm Beach, it is Mike Rizzo, who we're going to hear from at halftime. And we have an injured Inter Miami player, Jordi Alba, in the center circle, who has gone down. So Alba's going to receive attention. And David Martinez looks like he's about to put a shirt on and come on. Try and see what happened here with Jordi Alba, who checked up a few moments ago and called to the bench and said that he has an issue. And there's going to be a substitution, the second injury substitution for Inter Miami tonight. And it's going to be Jordi Alba, who, if you recall, at San Jose looked like he had a little bit of a muscle issue, but never missed any time. But Jordi Alba's going to come off here tonight against Montreal. Now, these have been some quick substitutions that Javier Mascherano has gone to. So I suspect that any hint of any discomfort, there's not a worry that it is serious, but against a side like Montreal, especially knowing what's coming at Columbus on Saturday and then Club World Cup, Javier Mascherano is being very prudent, just making sure that he's going to have his key players available to him and not risk any further issues. I wouldn't necessarily describe this as crisis. This is going to be significant missed time. I think it's just the fact that you're playing the last place team in the Eastern Conference, and you've got Columbus coming up, who's ahead of you in the Eastern Conference table, and then you've got 2 weeks after the beginning of the Club World Cup. At least that's the hope. So Jordi Alba's been substituted off for David Martinez as we are into the 25th minute here in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami and Montreal 0-0. Tomas Aviles brought Gonzalo Lujan off in the 11th minute. I also wonder, too, and this is just a theory of mine, I don't know this for a fact. Gonzalo Lujan went down, Jordi Alba went down, and very quickly you had players up, you had players ready to come in. There might be a bit of coordination to this as well. It might not be, there might be some discomfort of maybe some players that have felt some tightness here over the last week, but perhaps this was a coordinated, let's try and get some new bodies into the match as well. We will have our regular first selection starting 11, but we'd like to cycle some players in early to get them some run. Again, I don't know this for a fact, but it also, just with how quickly in this first half some of these players were available, I suspect there might be part of that as well coming into play. I think what I'm trying to convey is that I don't think anybody should overly panic about the health of this Inter Miami side. This has been a bit unconventional how quickly first half substitutes have been ready to go for Inter Miami on short notice, quote unquote. 0-0 Inter Miami and Montreal. 25th minute, and Inter Miami trying to push it into the left attacking half. Nothing there. Inter Miami does win it back in its right defensive half, and it's chipped into the center circle in the midfield for Segovia. Good touchdown, and now feeds it to Messi. Slid it to him in the left attacking third. A long ball forward, wanted Suarez. It was broken up by Neal of Montreal. Good defensive play, but Inter Miami wins right back. Into possession, Busquets. Inside right channel, and Busquets in a battle with Saliba, won it back. Busquets, he glides forward now. Messi outside the penalty arc, a shot and a goal! A left-footed finish, absolutely beautiful. A blast from Lionel Messi with conviction, with force. He put it off the near post, and it slides into the back of the net. Lionel Messi continues his tear. And that brings everybody out of their seats. Dazzling from Messi. 1-0, Inter Miami in the 27th minute. That was worth the price of admission. Lionel Messi, his 7th goal of the season. All he needed was a little bit of green grass to wind it up, and boy did he. Sirwa was never going to get a touch on it, placed perfectly. And Lionel Messi, after his free kick magnificence at Philadelphia, now scores run of play, and he is starting to heat up. That is a really good sign. Back-to-back matches, goals for Inter Miami's Lionel Messi. 1-0 to the home side. 28th minute. And Tomas Avila is able to intercept a ball in the defensive half. Pushes it on to Segovia. Now near left touchline, Aviles into the attack. Gives it off Segovia. Traverses near side to far side. Got himself to about the middle channel in the left defensive half before he fed it back to Aviles. And now Noah Allen and Aviles will go back and forth in the attacking half. Segovia wanted a back heel to a surging Noah Allen who was coming up the left edge, but it never got through, and Montreal wins the ball. So Lionel Messi with the goal. And Inter Miami has the 1-0 lead. It is the first goal that Lionel Messi has scored against CF Montreal, and it comes in style on this Wednesday night in South Florida. Ken LaVicka with you from Chase Stadium. Inter Miami now a +2 goal differential at home this season. And Inter Miami has trailed at halftime its last 4. Can they finally go into the break with an advantage? That mentally would be good for this side. Inter Miami trying to probe again, and Lionel Messi, far side, into the left attacking half. Montreal, some physical defense, but really, really strong effort on that right side by Tadeo Allende to win it back for Inter Miami. Now Messi making a turn again, driving up the right wing, left attacking third. Messi lays it off Suarez, who whiffed on an attempt to feed the box left of the penalty arc. I think he hit it off of his arm. The referee didn't call the handball. Meanwhile, Montreal in possession in the left defensive half. Trying to work something forward. Possession has been few and far between for this Montreal side. We are about to wrap up with minute number 29. 1-0 Inter Miami on top. And we have officially gotten ourselves to the half-hour mark with Inter Miami on top 1-0. Inter Miami, though, has already made 2 second-half substitutions due to injury. Gonzalo Lujan was brought off in the 11th minute for Tomas Aviles. And then Jordi Alba substituted off in favor of David Martinez. We don't know the severity of the injuries. It certainly felt like Javier Mascherano was just being overly cautious with some of the afflictions. Here comes Montreal into the box left side. Here is a feed into the middle, and putting it up over the bar was Brioni on a perfect feed from Owusu. Brioni made an extremely aggressive run right up the middle, unmarked, and Brioni about 6 feet in front of Ustari, who was in goal, missed it. Brioni, with his hands on his head, he cannot believe that he was unable to finish that. All it required was a tap. He tried to wind it up, and he sent it 20 rows deep. Oh, Owusu from the left of the box could not have floated a better ball to his running mate at the top of the 4-4-2. So Inter Miami gets extremely fortunate they did not concede there, and now we'll have a hydration break because of the temperatures. It does exceed the limit to forego a hydration break. So everybody is going to get their proper intake. 32nd minute. Inter Miami 1, CF Montreal 0. And Montreal with a near miss. Brioni had a glorious opportunity to draw us level. And could not put the proper footing on it. Now make your plans to be with us on Saturday night. It'll be a premier matchup in the final Inter Miami appearance before they take the pitch at Hard Rock Stadium against Al Ahly in the FIFA Club World Cup. It'll be Inter Miami, Columbus Crew. Get your tickets. It is a big one. InterMiamiCF.com. That's InterMiamiCF.com. We'll see you out here Saturday night. Javier Mascherano and Lionel Messi spent some significant time going over tactics during that hydration break. Messi with his 7th goal of the season, back-to-back matches with a goal now for Lionel Messi. It'll be Inter Miami on the ball with a goal kick. That goal kick taken by David Martinez onto his goalkeeper Ustari, who is in red tonight, and had delivered to the defensive midfield as Allende gets a head on it, and Federico Redondo is going to retreat deeper into the right defensive half, and eventually the ball is played back to Ustari in his own 6-yard box, and he puts a heavy right foot into it. Allende wins the aerial duel, and Inter Miami will win possession with Lionel Messi, who looks spry out there. And now Inter Miami pushes forward David Martinez, left attacking half on the near side to the outside left channel from the touchline, Noah Allen. Allen has moved into that left back role with Jordi Alba substituted off. Outside left channel, 40 yards away, Lionel Messi, a quick right-footed swipe onto David Martinez near the midfield stripe, and now he sends it back into the defensive half for Redondo. Federico Redondo. A low ball sent through, and Aviles could not hit the mark. He wanted Suarez. He was trying to make a diagonal run just shy of the penalty arc, and it never found the target. And Montreal with the interception will take its time playing out of the back. Montreal, a minus 15 goal differential. That is second worst in Major League Soccer. Fired Laurent Courtois March 24th. Courtois had won the MLS Next Pro title 2022 with Columbus Crew. And that junior side lasted 14 months as the Montreal headman finished 9th last season, did Montreal in the Eastern Conference. Trying to get back on some more stable footing. There's this Montreal side who are in the quarterfinals of the MLS Cup playoffs in 2022. So not too far removed from significant postseason football is Montreal. And Montreal in the right attacking half. Attacking midfield, near right touchline, and a whistle and a foul against Inter Miami. Noah Allen, a bit too physical with Nathan Saliba. Allen has been a stalwart for Inter Miami this season along the Javier Mascherano back line. This is 14th appearance, 12 starts for Noah Allen. He will figure prominently at the Club World Cup. On the back line that is going to be very scrutinized. Struggling in MLS play. They're going to have to really shore things up when the best in the world descend upon the States. Inter Miami has conceded 23 times in the last 8 all competitions. They would really, really love to keep a small number or that circle underneath the Montreal scoreline here tonight. Montreal, meanwhile, in the right attacking third, far left touchline, trying to get left of the box was Seeley. He went to ground. The ball trickles out of play across the end line, far left corner, and the referee says no foul, and it will be a goal kick for Inter Miami. Tom Pierce, who was on that side, not happy with the call. Pierce, left winger tonight for Montreal. Previously with Wigan Athletic. Was part of the Wigan side that won the English League One championship in 2022. 27 years old, making his 5th start tonight. Good job by Davi Martinez to cut off a dangerous ball right of the box intended for Saliba, but Martinez does concede the corner. And would you believe it, in the 38th minute, we have our first corner of the night. And it is Montreal who will handle it near side to far side. And it's going to be a left-footed in-swinging corner from Dante Seeley. Inter Miami's first set-piece test tonight. This will be fed short corner, right side of the box, right back to Seeley. Whips it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Well done by Inter Miami to head it away. This will be rolled all the way back into the Montreal defensive half. And the goalkeeper, Sirwa, who's off his line about 30 yards, and Montreal is going to try and work it out of the back once again. It was Luis Suarez, by the way, doing well on that corner defense to eliminate the threat. Jonathan Sirwa once again hasn't played back to him. He's about 10 yards north of his penalty arc. Inter Miami with a light press, but Montreal in no hurry to try and push the ball forward out of their defensive half. Now here they come with Seeley along the near touchline, but he will stay on the defensive side of the midfield stripe. And finally, Montreal able to get it across. Here is a long cross from the far left touchline, 30 yards out, and a hopeful let it go and cross your fingers and pray type of delivery from Tom Pierce. Frioni was in the vicinity, as was Owusu, but it skied them both by plenty. Inter Miami, not much to worry about there. And the ball will simply take a 2-hop across the near right end line, and Inter Miami back into play off the goal kick. Now Allende quickly into the defensive midfield as Inter Miami tries to push forward. Redondo sends it back to Davi Martinez. Now Noah Allen near right touchline, and Redondo is going to push it back to Ustari in his own box, right side of the pitch. 39-19, 39-20, 39-21 on this first half clock. 1-0 Inter Miami, thanks to Lionel Messi. And today, Allende, good strong play in the midfield, and Inter Miami, here they come into the center circle. Left attacking half. Off the near left touchline, Noah Allen now to Lasco Segovia. Segovia into the middle. Suarez touched it back to him. And now Busquets. Busquets will lay it off briefly for Suarez. He goes near side to far side for Messi. Now a ball is fed to Ian Frey, right of the box. Frey is able to chip it across. Messi played it back to Allen, and he took a left-footed swipe, and it is going to be delivered out of play across the end line, wide of goal, and a goal kick for Montreal. And Frey with a good ball as he came up in support. The flag stayed down. That would have been close if this ever turned into anything. Messi headed it back to Allen, and Noah Allen from the border of the top of the box, just to the left of the penalty D, was way off the mark. Inter Miami's really pressing now as Montreal's trying to play it out of the back. Really starting to show some pressure. Sirwa, pinned against his own goal line, gives it away in the left attacking third for Inter Miami. Here's Messi making the turn to his left. Nice chip through to Segovia. Segovia had to go off his back heel, but Messi wins it right back. He is all over the place. Now Busquets from 28 yards feeds it into the 6-yard box, but just a bit too far ahead of Messi, and Sirwa makes the catch as he anticipated that ball. Good job by David Martinez on a long ball forward to win it away from Owosso. That brings a round of applause from this side and from this crowd, who the last time saw Inter Miami get dinged the last time they played here in Fort Lauderdale by a goalkeeper sending a long ball away and picking up an assist on a goal. Lionel Messi, left attacking third, right wing, feeds it right side of the box. Low cross, never got through. That was Ian Frey trying to deliver. Now Montreal trying to find a way to get into the attack. And a foul on Sergio Busquets as Saliba ran into him. And a yellow is shown to Sergio Busquets. That's our first booking of the night. It comes in the 42nd minute. And Sergio Busquets is in John Freeman's book. So a yellow to Busquets. And it certainly looked like Saliba just threw himself into Busquets. Busquets was stationary. Problem is, he had his right leg a bit away from his body because he was trying to pivot back towards the ball, and Saliba took that opportunity to throw his body into that back leg. And unfortunately, a referee is usually going to call that because it looks worse than it actually is. Montreal with an overlap into the right attacking third. Rare time that Montreal is in the attacking third here in this opening half. 1-0, Inter Miami on top. This is Waterman. Pushes it back to Neal. Neal, near right touchline, still in the attacking third. Sealy delivers it right into the middle. Could not find the mark. Wanted Saliba, but Inter Miami gave it right back. And then it is one on a tackle from Busquets. Inter Miami has a 3-on-2. Suarez into the left attacking half for Inter Miami. Far right touchline, Messi wanted to play it through to Suarez, didn't get through in the box, but Suarez won it right back. Messi in the box. Messi through two defenders. Messi a third defender. Then had a shot blocked down by Neal, and it's going to roll to the end line, and Montreal has to clear it away. Good job by Neal to stay with it for Montreal, the youngster, but Inter Miami still asking questions. Left of the area, Messi gives it out. Segovia outside the box along the touchline, and now Inter Miami's going to play it back. And, Davi Martinez did not hit a good ball, trying to get it into the midfield circle. He got enough on it where Vrioni couldn't get to it. It was retrieved by Tomas Aviles. Now Inter Miami back in the left attacking third. Allen trying to make it cross from the near left touchline as Suarez was coming near post, but a bit too far ahead of the Uruguayan. And now Montreal, good play outside of the Inter Miami left attacking third. And then Owusu draws a foul against Inter Miami. It's Noah Allen who got a bit too grabby. No, Davi Martinez, rather. And John Freeman, the referee, is saying to Martinez, hey, that's the second time I've called you for the same foul. And there's his warning. 44-13, 44-14, 44-15. We are just moments away from finding out what the additional time will be in this first half. We haven't had one, but I want to remind you that all Inter Miami Corners are brought to you by Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, representing injured people and their families. More than 35 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Montreal just inside the midfield stripe. right attacking half. In the midfield circle, Laturi will trickle a ball off to the left. Now far left touchline. Montreal looking to come forward. Pierce. Now to Waterman, 40 yards out. Goes near side. That's Seeley. Montreal hasn't been able to get any closer than about 27 yards on this sequence. Near right touchline, Seeley again for Montreal. 5 additional minutes. 5 additional minutes. That is because of the 2 injuries suffered by Miami that have led to 2 substitutions in this first half. Owusu for Montreal. Well done by Redondo to dispossess him about 35 yards out. And here comes Inter Miami. Lionel Messi attacking midfield. And he was dribbling into some traffic, and he was dispossessed from behind by Pierce. On the counter now, here is Montreal. Here is a left-footed shot just wide, left of the area, and it ended up rolling wide of the near post. Brioni did not hit it extremely well with that left foot, enough to have Ustari dive at it, but ultimately not on target. And now we have Tomas Aviles, who is injured for Inter Miami. And man, the looks from the Inter Miami bench right now, this coaching staff, they cannot believe what's happening here with this side health-wise. Aviles, I think, got hit in the face. I don't think this is going to require any sort of substitution. The physios are going to come on. This does not appear to be the same type of injury, muscle issue that Lujan and Alba appear to have suffered. I think Aviles got hit in the face. There is nobody preparing to come on here. 46th minute. We already had 5 additional minutes tacked on to the end of this 45. That is going to be extended here by our referee, John Freeman, I would think. Jordi Alba is still fully dressed on the Inter Miami touchline. He has not gone back to the locker room at all, to my knowledge. So I don't think there is a ton of concern about Alba's well-being, though he was substituted off here in this first half, but he's not put his warm-ups on at all. Frioni sent that shot wide, and so eventually we will... Oh, no, they are bringing out a stretcher here for Tomas Aviles. Extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealers. Test drive the new Q6 e-tron today at your local South Florida Audi dealer, or visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. Now, Aviles says, no, I don't need the stretcher. Get this off. And they bring out the spray, and Aviles will have to come off momentarily, but he's not going to come out of the match. We have 47-38, 47-39, 47-40 on this first half clock. 5 additional minutes were put on to the end of this half, but again, there are going to be more. Already 2 injury substitutions for Inter Miami in the first 45. Lujan and Alba. Lionel Messi, his 7th goal of the season. It came run of play from outside the box, just beyond the penalty arc, with a gorgeous, dazzling left foot. And now we are finally back underway, and Montreal will have possession. You know, the right attacking half, Seeley. Seeley angles left into the inside right channel. Now pushes it back to the outside, near right touchline, and promptly given away right to Luis Suarez. Suarez for Inter Miami, tackled from behind. And a foul against Saliba in the Montreal midfield. So Inter Miami from the right defensive half, near side, will get play underway. Not in any particular hurry is Inter Miami, who is a couple of minutes away from being able to enjoy a halftime advantage for the first time in 4 outings. A long, slow trudge for Aviles. Back to the 4th official. Long ball forward for Inter Miami, but Montreal able to head it away from the penalty area. And then Inter Miami concedes a throw-in far right side in the Montreal defensive half. And Montreal is going to throw it in. A high throw-in intended for Owusu. but won by Inter Miami, playing with 10 men right now. Here's Lionel Messi right up the middle channel. Messi left attacking third, delivers a pass to Suarez outside the box. Now Messi pokes one on to Segovia. Into the middle, straight on Redondo. Redondo angles to his right, gives it off right wing to Frey. Now Segovia in front of the center circle as Inter Miami's been progressively working backwards. Redondo to the right of the midfield circle. Quick one-touch pass Allende onto Redondo. Now Allen up the left side. Into the middle, Allende. Good short-range pass, making a turn Suarez. Suarez kept his footing. Great ball left of the box, Allen. And then he chunked across to the far post. And Lionel Messi cannot catch up to it before it rolls out of play far side. That is a rare, brutal mishit from Noah Allen, who is usually significantly better than that, as we have crossed into 50 minutes in this first half. I'm not real sure how Noah Allen hit that so badly with Messi floating to that far post. So a throw-in, left defensive third for CF Montreal under interim manager Marco Donadel. Longtime Serie A player in Italy, the native Italian. Inter Miami with a throw-in after Montreal diffed the ball out of play across the touchline. Good job by Segovia to win a ball that Montreal thought they had back. Now Messi gave it back to Segovia. Does well to shield Saliba away from the ball on the right flank. Now right of the area. Aviles, who has since come back into the match, loses it as he was trying to find options, and Montreal trying to push forward, and a poor pass on the counter, and Noah Allen, the easy interception. Right back into the left attacking half comes pink-clad Inter Miami. Racing in the left attacking third was Redondo, and he will send a pass to Suarez, able to win it along the touchline. He nutmegged Neal, the outside left channel, but Neal able to recover and win the ball back. And then a clunky foul against Redondo as he ran right over Dante Seeley of CF Montreal. 51-51, 51-52. We have got to be nearing the end of this opening half finally. 1-0 Inter Miami on top, and Montreal will get enough time to get into the right attacking half. Saliba straight on in front of the midfield circle, and there finally is the end of the first half as John Freeman blows his whistle, and for the first time in 5 matches, Inter Miami has the lead at the break, thanks to Lionel Messi. The old trusty standby, his 27th minute golazo gives the home side a 1-0 advantage. Inter Miami 1, CF Montreal 0 after 45 minutes. Some injury concerns, though, for Inter Miami, with both Gonzalo Lujan and Jordi Alba having to substitute off in the opening stanza. Mike Rizzo will talk about that. He'll have highlights for you. He'll have numbers from this first half as well. Inter Miami 1, CF Montreal 0 at halftime in Fort Lauderdale. This is Inter Miami football.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or BradleyAir.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
At PNC Bank, they pride themselves on being boring. But the truth is, they couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. For nearly 160 years, they've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for their equally brilliant clients. Now, their dedicated financial teams are ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. Let's see what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV, it's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The next chapter of Audi is here.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Football legends collide at the opening match of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Al Ahly versus Inter Miami. Messi, Jordi Alba, and Inter Miami take on Jamal Mashour and Mohamed El Shenawi of the Egyptian powerhouse Al Ahly. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Now, Messi outside the penalty arc, a shot and a goal! A left-footed finish! Absolutely beautiful! A blast from Lionel Messi with conviction, with force. He put it off the near post, and it slides into the back of the net. Lionel Messi continues his tear. And that brings everybody out of their seats. Dazzling from Messi. 1-0, Inter Miami in the 27th minute. That was worth the price of admission.
The great one with the great one. Lionel Messi having a heck of a first half, and that is coming off of match day of the week honors. Lionel Messi has been on that 4 times already this season. Could this be the 5th time for the great one? Welcome on in, folks, to the halftime show. We are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealers. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. Test drive that brand new Q6 e-tron today at your local South Florida Audi dealer. Well, Inter Miami dominating that first half. Montreal had a couple of chances. We'll hear the highlights in just a second. Couple of chances one-on-one with the keeper, but they ultimately didn't have enough quality in front of net to make Inter Miami pay. But the Herons had plenty of opportunities from Suarez in that first half. Noah Allen sailed one as well. Advantage Herons in that first half, which is the first time we could say that, I think, in a long time. Inter Miami has been outplayed in these first halves significantly throughout the last, I'd say, 10 fixtures. Let's remember, Inter Miami winners of 3 games in their last 10, 0 W's in their last 4. This is a Montreal side that is 15th on the Eastern Conference table and just got done sacking their manager. So good start for Inter Miami. Let's see them cross the finish line. Let's get a couple of match facts for you guys here on the halftime show powered by Audi. The XG at half, if you're into that kind of thing, 0.94 for Inter Miami, 0.57 for Montreal. I mentioned a couple of chances for Montreal, not many, but Inter Miami winning the possession, 53% to 47. 10 total shots in the game, 7 for the Herons, 3 for Montreal, 1 shot put on target for the Herons, obviously hitting the back of the net. We heard the goal from Lionel Messi to start the segment off. We'll hear again in the highlights as well, the great one, opening up the scoring at 1-0. Montreal has 1 big chance compared to Inter Miami's 0, and that'll about do it for the match facts. Now, a couple of injuries to keep an eye on. Ken Levica, our voice of the Inter Miami Herons, you could hear, he mentioned a lot of injuries that have happened in this game. Jordi Alba had to come off, and you saw Aviles late in that first half kind of get an injury. They brought out the stretcher, but they sent the stretcher back. And then first off, leading off the injuries was Gonzalo Luan. Aviles had to come on for Luan, and then Hector Martinez had to come on as a fullback. So something worth keeping an eye on. Jordi Alba taken off for injury in the 24th. Gonzalo Luan taken off for injury in the 12th. And then Toto Aviles, who came on for Luan in the 12th, suffered an injury as well, but has stayed on the pitch. So injuries, kind of big storyline there for Inter Miami. Inter Miami is already without Baltasar Rodriguez, Davi Ruiz, Drake Callender. So adding on to the list of injuries, muscle injuries from the looks of it too. We'll keep an eye right here on the Inter Miami Radio Network. Let's get into the highlights. You already heard Lionel Messi score the first goal, but Luis Suarez had a chance in that first half. Let's take a listen.
Addison Govia able to play through to the back. Suarez right footed shot took a deflection, and it sails wide of the goal. I thought it went off Jalen Neal, but the referee says goal kick. I thought there was certainly a deflection there.
And it wasn't a deflection. It ended up being a goal kick from Montreal. Suarez missing the target. You heard it, but who doesn't like hearing a Lionel Messi goal? Let's hear it again.
Now, Messi outside the penalty arc. A shot and a goal! A left-footed finish! Absolutely beautiful! A blast from Lionel Messi with conviction, with force. He put it off the near post, and it slides into the back of the net. Lionel Messi continues his tear. And that brings everybody out of their seats. Dazzling from Messi. 1-0, Inter Miami in the 27th minute. That was worth the price of admission.
Messi with the brilliant goal in the 27th minute, 1-0. That's how the score would stay going into halftime. But Montreal had a big chance early on. They weren't able to cash in. Let's take a listen.
Here is a feed into the middle, and putting it up over the bar was Brioni on a perfect feed from Owusu. Brioni made an extremely aggressive run right up the middle, unmarked, and Brioni about 6 feet in front of Ustari, who was in goal, missed it. Brioni, with his hands on his head, he cannot believe that he was unable to finish that. All it required was a tap. He tried to wind it up, and he sent it 20 rows deep.
Lionel Messi also had a chance on a header, was going nowhere fast, and then Noah Allen had a chance here as well. Let's take a quick listen. Ultimately bottled it, but Noah Allen with a good chance for Messi.
And Frey right in the box. Frey is able to chip it across. Messi played it back to Allen, and he took a left-footed swipe, and it is going to be delivered out of play across the end line, wide of goal, and a goal kick.
So Noah Allen missing the target completely, and that brought us to halftime. I mentioned Toto Aviles did manage to get an injury, brought a stretcher out at some point, but he called it back. So Aviles, I'm assuming, going to be coming back out for the Herons at that center back position. He came on for Gonzalo Luan in the 12th. A couple notable players still available off the bench. Rocco Rios Novo, the backup keeper. Marcelo Wagon, a fullback. Maxi Falcone, center back. Benjamin Kromaski could play the wing, could play midfield. I want him at the midfield. Alan Abando, backup striker. Fafa Pico, who could do a bit of master of everything, right? Play striker, wing, midi. Pico available off the bench, and then Leo Afonso as well available. So something to look out for if more injuries happen or if more players have to come off for Inter Miami. 1-0, your scoreline here at halftime. Let's quickly go through the other fixtures going on in the MLS. Atlanta United is down 2-1 to Orlando City. DC United down 1-0 to New England. FC Cincinnati up 2-0 on Dallas. Our Herons up 1-0 on Montreal. NYCFC down 1-0 to the Houston Dynamo. Shout out my guy Glenn Davis. The Red Bulls 2-1 over Charlotte. It is tied up Toronto and Philadelphia. The Crew losing 1-0 to Nashville, and the Sounders and San Diego tie 0-0 in the 6th minute. That was the halftime show on the Inter Miami Radio Network. We are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealers. It's time to send it back pitch side to our good buddy Ken Levica, the voice of the Herons. I'll catch up with you guys on the postgame show. Go Herons. Let's see this one through. PNC Bank couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. But you may be wondering, isn't PNC that boring bank? Well, is starting a business or being the first person in your family to go to college boring? For 160 years, they've done the occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. That's why they have dedicated teams throughout the local area ready to help you unlock your own brilliance. See what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The next chapter of Audi is here.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
It's Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Ken Levica.
1-0 at halftime in favor of Inter Miami as we get set for half number 2. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. I am Ken Levica. And we do have another substitution for Inter Miami at halftime. Tomas Aviles, who was struggling at the end of the first half. Maxi Falcone has taken him off. So that right center back position for Inter Miami now has a third player occupying it here tonight. It started with Gonzalo Lujan. He went off in the 7th minute, or in the 11th minute, I should say, for Aviles. Now Aviles with an injury, and Maxi Falcone has replaced him. That is the third injury substitution tonight for Inter Miami. So Maxi Falcone, who did not feature at Philadelphia, is into the match for Inter Miami. Boy, oh boy, the injury bug is hitting Inter Miami in a massive way here tonight. Alba went off with injury. Lujan with injury. Aviles with injury. Reinforcements getting a little thin here tonight for Javier Mascherano. Keep in mind, Baltasar Rodriguez, he did not train this week. Don't know when he's going to be back. He's only played 18 minutes this season for Inter Miami. That came at San Jose. Drake Callender, goalkeeper, sports hernia surgery. He's going to be out for quite some time. It is a battle of attrition right now. A substitution as well for Montreal, as the 9-year veteran Samuel Piette has taken Tom Pierce off. So Piette, the Canadian international, will try to bring a spark to his longtime side. We are just over a minute into this second half. 1-0 Inter Miami on top thanks to the 27th minute goal from Lionel Messi. Caden Clark has substituted on at halftime for CF Montreal as well. Giacomo Brioni, who had one brutal miss and another opportunity that he sprayed wide into the match. A long ball from the midfield as Montreal was trying to hit Inter Miami over the top. And it was just a bit too much on that pass, and it one hops to Ustari. But Montreal won it right back in the midfield after it was distributed. Inter Miami trying to plug up that back line. Ian Frey wins the ball back for Inter Miami. And now the journey begins to try and work out of the back. Again, Inter Miami is on its third right center back of the night. It is now Maxi Falcone. 1-0 Inter Miami on top. Three substitutions for Inter Miami. I think Javier Mascherano could have probably substituted Aviles, but he didn't want to have a third substitution in the opening half. So Aviles able to gut it out the remaining 5 minutes or so that he stayed on. And now we have another Inter Miami player down. This is a contact injury to Tadeo Allende in the midfield, as he took a hit from Petrasso. And we've seen the Inter Miami physios plenty tonight, too many times, and they do a splendid job, and we appreciate them, but the less of them, the better. And that has not been the case here this evening. Allende looks like he maybe took a hit to the bridge of his nose. He gives the physios a thumbs up. They ask, are you okay? He shook his head, yes. Victor Laturi in the midfield came over just to dap up Allende and make sure he was okay. Allende going to have to come off briefly here. This should not be a long spell of time spent on the touchline. As we bring you into minute number 49 from Fort Lauderdale. As nightfall has hit South Florida, the lights have taken full effect. Midweek soccer here from Chase Stadium. And a good ball from Messi to the right of the box, right attacking third, Frey. Frey tried to get to the end line and then was dispossessed, got a little bit too reckless with the ball. The clearance is made by Waterman of Montreal, but it'll be a near touchline, right attacking third throw-in for Inter Miami. And immediately it is punched back into the Inter Miami defensive half to Maxi Falcone by Federico Redondo, and now it is rolled on to Oscar Ustari. Ustari, no stranger to working with his feet. He is outside his box, just off his line by about 12 yards or so, and now Ustari is going to send a long ball forward into the right attacking half, and Allende headed it down, but right to a Montreal defender. It was George Campbell who won the ball, and then Inter Miami commits a foul in the Montreal left attacking half. Near side, just inside the midfield stripe, another long ball forward, and Maxi Falcone tracks it perfectly off the set piece. And Ian Frey has it. Inter Miami trying to work out of its left defensive third. Busquets gets held. The referee said play on, and Montreal trying to play forward. A desperation defensive play by Inter Miami to keep the ball out of the box. But I'm not sure what this referee has seen. Sergio Busquets was being hooked and held after he'd won the ball back, and the referee just said, hey, let's play. Meanwhile, Owusu was charging forward. I mean, that was ridiculous, and Inter Miami is able to escape that potential catastrophe. 1-0 Inter Miami on top, 52nd minute. Good ball and a chip from Segovia. Racing into the right attacking third, angling left into the right channel. Allende, right side of the box, wanted to lay it back for Lionel Messi, or for Suarez, I should say. It was a poor ball. Suarez was marked well, and Suarez is then called for a foul as he used his right arm to displace Waterman, who had read that distribution well. It was a forearm from Suarez, and he is frustrated. He is at the apex of frustration. It has just not been a good season for him. His body is not doing, it appears, everything he wants it to do. He has not been able to take advantage of the rare opportunities to make a difference. And his emotions are showing in a large way. It is very obvious. Now Montreal, left side of the box, Ustari, a sprawling fingertip save of a Caden Clark chip from the left border of the box, but the flag was up offside. Montreal, but that was extremely close. And Clark was offside by about a step and a half. Unable to get behind the defense legally. Petrasso with a nifty little ball from the near touchline, about 35 yards. But Clark, the second half substitute, was offside. Doesn't change the fact that Ustari, very athletic, got a desperation left hand on it that would have thwarted the opportunity anyways. Inter Miami 1, Montreal 0. 53rd minute. Long ball will be taken by Allende. Right attacking third, far left touchline. He'll send it back deep into the midfield, about 42 yards out. And now just barely into the defensive half is Busquets. And now left channel, Lionel Messi. Good ball to Segovia. Segovia makes the turn amid some pressure. Good 1-2 action from Messi and Segovia. And then Messi trying to return it to Segovia, making a run into the box. It was picked off, but it falls right back to Messi. Can Inter Miami win it back? They do, but Messi left side of the box couldn't get on the end of it. Inter Miami really pressing hard. And now we have a whistle and we have a foul. And the referee is going to show a card to Talasco Segovia of Inter Miami. Second booking tonight for the home side, as he is called for a grab of the jersey. Through all of that scrum on the left-hand side, he grabbed the shirt of Campbell. Campbell was furious. The referee blew his whistle and told George Campbell, the right center back for Montreal, "I've got it handled." And the card came out of the front pocket and was shown to Segovia. So Inter Miami now has two players on the pitch who have received a booking, Sergio Busquets and Talasco Segovia. Inter Miami nursing a 1-0 lead. Montreal still does not have a shot on target. 55th minute. Throw in. Left attacking third on the border of it. Near left touchline for Montreal. And off the throw in, it's worked into the midfield circle. Jalen Neal sends it far right touchline. Angling left, a pass into the middle. About 25 yards out. Allende able to steal it, but it's taken right back by Owusu. He wanted to play it through to Saliba, but that was picked off by Martinez of Inter Miami, and then knocked to the turf was Busquets of Inter Miami. And a foul is called on the men from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. CF Montreal and Prince Owusu. Owusu leading goal scorer for Montreal, 4 tallies this season. He scored on a penalty last time out against LAFC. Good long ball forward. The chase is on, and it is taken left of the box by Inter Miami. Here's Suarez at the border of the box, left far side. Now Segovia inside left channel, about 28 yards out. Messi chips the ball left side of the box. That's extinguished by Campbell of CF Montreal. Now Waterman. He's pestered by Inter Miami. And Montreal finally with some space to work with. And taking the ball is Laturi, middle of the defensive half. Laturi to the outside, far touchline. Into the attacking half, left side of the pitch comes Montreal. Now Neal back on to Laturi. It's worked up into the left attacking third. This is good buildup from Montreal. Saliba dispossessed. Well done by Inter Miami and Redondo in particular. And here comes the counter. Right up the gut, Martinez. It's a 4-on-3. Now Lionel Messi turns on the birders in the right channel. Messi to the penalty arc, right side. Messi, left side of the box. And he was shielded off the ball. Quick pass, got it right back, left to the area. Messi onto his right foot, pushes it Segovia. Left wing. Now Redondo in the middle. Redondo to Suarez, wanted to chip into Segovia left side of the box. It's cleared, but as far as Martinez, about 25 yards away before a sky ball is thrown up by Montreal to alleviate some of the pressure. Inter Miami still pushing forward, though. Noah Allen, he has it just outside the right attacking third. He's at the far left touchline, and now a reorganization is coming for Inter Miami. Busquets, midfield circle, attacking midfield. A 1-2 with Messi. Busquets is tackled down. There was contact, a whistle, a foul, a card. First one tonight shown to Montreal. George Campbell is the guilty party. So George Campbell, the 23-year-old right center back for Montreal, former Atlanta United man, he's in the book of referee John Freeman. 58th minute, 1-0 Inter Miami on top. Lionel Messi back in the 27th minute is the difference on the scoreline. We'll see what Inter Miami does here on the free kick. They're a good nearly 40 yards out. And it's going to be Sergio Busquets. Sent it off to the left on the wing. The referee did not give the go-ahead to restart play, so he shuts it down, and this will be done again by Busquets. There's the whistle. And now Busquets, with Segovia no longer an option, he's being marked. We'll send it off to the right side on the wing for Messi. Now along the touchline, same side, Frey into some traffic for Messi, and that is stolen away by Caden Clark of Montreal. Inter Miami's been pretty aggressive here on the press in the second half with this 1-0 advantage, trying to force the action. Here's Samuel Piet. Piet, defensive midfield, long ball up ahead. Clark is on the end of it. He has it left to the area. Clark, back heel, keeps on the ball. Now he's outside the box, left portion, feeds it to Petrasso. Petrasso drives into the box from the left, and he lets it fly with a left foot, left of the 6-yard box, right to Ustari, who knocks it down. And Ustari has control of the ball. I'm not sure that's going to be an official shot on target, though, because I do not think that was destined for goal. It was a tough angle, and off the distribution from Ustari, Inter Miami right back into play. Messi from the near touchline, right attacking third. Allende, he's behind the defense, and he sent a shot wide from the near post. He tried to go to the opposite post, and he just sent it wide of goal. No deflection, goal kick, Montreal. Oh, Allende had a glorious opportunity, and he could not put it on frame. Did everything right, but it was a late challenge from Jalen Neal of Montreal that forced a distraction and ruined the accuracy. We'll have a Montreal substitution. We'll tell you about it after we take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is Inter Miami football.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
We have hit the hour mark in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Chase Stadium, home of Inter Miami, is Inter Miami 1, CF Montreal 0. The first of two meetings this season between these sides. Oscar Gonzalez, the OG, our on-site engineer. Here with me in South Florida and in West Palm Beach, it is Mike Rizzo back in the network studios. Oh, Owusu had a ball find him right side of the box off a feed from 40 yards out. It was a poor header, but Montreal still on the ball. And a whistle and a stoppage in play, and Petrasso is down at the top of the box. And a yellow has been shown to Martinez of Inter Miami, and this is going to be a dangerous free kick coming for Montreal at the edge of the penalty arc in the left attacking third. So now it's fortitude time for Inter Miami. Jules Anthony Vilsaint has come into the match for Montreal, taking off Jalen Neal, who had a strong appearance. The former LAFC man at left center back. We'll see who takes this free kick for Inter Miami after Martinez was shown a yellow for Inter Miami. Who will take this free kick for Montreal, I should say. It's Saliba standing over it. And it is Seeley standing over it. Saliba with a right foot, Seeley with a left foot. Straight on free kick, left foot right into the wall from Seeley. And it will carry him all the way back to the near left touchline. But Petrasso has it back for Montreal. He tried to spray a pass right side of the box. Noah Allen got a head on it, and now Inter Miami wants to run. Oh, beautiful turn from Tadeo Allende in the midfield circle, but as he tried to send it to the near right touchline, right attacking half, it was picked off by Campbell. It was intended for Messi. Good job by Noah Allen on a square ball to the border of the right side of the box to simply touch it onto his keeper, Oscar Ustari, while still marking the Montreal target. And Inter Miami still leads 1-0, 63rd minute here in Fort Lauderdale. Montreal hasn't scored in 5 of their 9 matches away this season. Inter Miami trying to keep that trend alive, that personality trait the same. Quick restart after an Inter Miami foul. Montreal left attacking third. Coming forward is Clark. Clark sends it left side of the box. Now Clark a step over after having it returned to him. Clark will push it back beyond the top of the penalty area. Left wing Piet. And then Montreal is forced to roll the ball all the way back out into the midfield. Good shape here from the Inter Miami defense. Petrasso near left touchline, just into the left attacking half for the men from Quebec. Only one win on the season. That was May 10th at NYCFC. 1-0 Inter Miami here on this Wednesday night, May the 28th. Hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend. A safe Memorial Day weekend and a reflective Memorial Day weekend. Here's a giveaway from Montreal, a little bit lazy off a throw-in, and here comes Inter Miami, a 3-on-1. Lionel Messi into the right attacking third, sends a pass left side of the box. Segovia's on it. Segovia's reinforcements gun gives it off. Messi, left-footed shot from just beyond the penalty spot was blocked back. And now Montreal, a little bit lackadaisical in their own box. Petrasso nearly had his pocket picked by Suarez, who was lurking. And here's a giveaway in the right attacking third. Inter Miami has it. Messi in the box again. Messi has room. Shot blocked, has it back. And then a chip, and it hits top netting from a tough angle along the far post. But Inter Miami is charging hard, asking questions, trying to put it away. Messi would not quit on the play. It was a desperation. George Campbell, fully prone, laid out shot block from about 9 yards to deny Messi. And then Messi tried a cheeky little chip that only he would attempt from the angle he was at, about 4 yards off the touchline, just to the left of the 6-yard box, and he put it in top netting. So it's still 1-0 Inter Miami, and a foul against Noah Allen of Inter Miami, with Montreal still in its right defensive third. Shaded to the far side of the pitch. Oh, be careful. Sergio Busquets with a clunky tackle on Piet in the Montreal defensive half. He's on a card. The referee, though, makes no indication he was even thinking about it. And Montreal with the quick restart. 66th minute. And another attempt to hit Inter Miami over the top from about 35 yards. Saliba wanted to put it to Owusu, and it was woefully overhit and caught like a punt in the chest for Oscar Ustari. Ustari in red tonight, in goal for Inter Miami. Yes, he conceded 3 in Philadelphia, but he made a number of heroic saves in the second half to keep Inter Miami in it and give him a chance for that improbable draw. Javier Mascherano said that we feel good coming out of Philadelphia with the fortitude we showed, with the drive that we showed. Fafa Pico is taken off the penny. He is warmed up. He is going to come in for Inter Miami in mere moments. A handball, unintentional, about 35 yards from goal from Tadeo Allende of Inter Miami, and CF Montreal resets. 1-0 Inter Miami on top, 66-12, 66-13, 66-14 on this second half countdown. Campbell, outside left channel for Montreal, now to the left attacking third. It comes, and Davi Martinez will, with his left foot, blast the ball away. about 20 yards in front of his own goal. Federico Redondo turned around, asked him, "What are you doing?" as that ball sailed across the near touchline. Martinez said, "That's my bad. I should have probably just fed it to you." Ben Kremoski is about to come on as well for Inter Miami. Here's Montreal off of a throw-in. Here's a pass near side to far side. Square ball just outside the box. On a left foot. Ustari with a save. Rebound. A second save for Oscar Ustari. A double save for the veteran Inter Miami goalkeeper. And there's the clearance. Sealy with the first delivery that was blocked away on a shot from distance. And then Ville-Saint was denied short range from Ustari. And now Inter Miami tries to surge up the pitch into the right attacking third. Right channel, Messi, about 27 yards away. Messi drags into the middle for Suarez. Wanted to feed Messi, who wins it right side of the box. Messi onto his right foot. Messi stays on the ball along the end line. Now he chips to the middle of the box. Onto Suarez. Score! From just left of the penalty spot. Luis Suarez with the finish. Just like old times. Messi to Suarez. It's a deserved 2-0 lead for Inter Miami. And the two all-world players able to get on the same page. Luis Suarez finally found his goal. 2-0 to the home side. Messi would not give up on the play, and Suarez would not give up on being a target. Messi more than happy to oblige, ship it to his longtime running mate, and Suarez, a quick settle and a right foot blast. That's the third goal of the season for Luis Suarez in MLS play. As Ben Kremoski and Fafa Pico come to the touchline. And today, Oyende won't have a goal to show for it, but he was dangerous tonight for Inter Miami. Fafa Pico will take off Oyende. And Talasco Segovia's night comes to an end in favor of Ben Kremoski, who scored against Montreal last season. That also will get one of the two Inter Miami yellows, one of the three Inter Miami yellows off the pitch with Segovia. 2-0 Inter Miami in the 70th minute. Messi has scored. Suarez has scored. That was a common result last season. If that could come back into the lexicon for Inter Miami, things will certainly have a better chance of getting turned around and heading back in the right direction. As it stands, Inter Miami is now 20 minutes away from its first win in the last 5. And Inter Miami is asking questions again, right attacking third, far side, charging towards left side of the box. Pico low cross. Kremoski back here. It was loose in the area. Suarez has another one. Trailing the play. Suarez just outside the 6-yard box has a brace. 2 goals in under 2 minutes. 3-0 Inter Miami in the 71st minute. And it's all 3 points to the South Florida side. It's a poacher's goal, and Luis Suarez doesn't care. Nor do any of the 20,000 in attendance here in Fort Lauderdale. And look out if Luis Suarez starts to get that scoring touch back. (3-0) Inter Miami, and they have finally gone the distance they needed from Montreal to properly see this through. 76th minute. Luis Suarez with MLS goals 3 and 4. in 2025. And now Suarez in the midfield circle, maybe got away with a handball. Inter Miami trying to build up once again. Well, on that goal, Ben Kromoski whiffed on a back heel. It took a touch off a Montreal defender and just laid prone right meaty in the center of the box, and Suarez racing from the backside. Had it lined up the entire way. Just sitting there waiting to be blasted. There was nothing that Jonathan Sirois was going to be able to do about that unless Suarez put it right on the keeper. And it's a second goal tonight for Luis Suarez. 2 goals in 2 minutes. That's efficient. That'll get it done. Suarez tried to back heel in the Montreal attacking half, left side of the pitch, that gave Montreal possession back, and Montreal's going to win a throw-in near left touchline, left attacking third. Suarez this week announced that he and Lionel Messi are starting a Uruguayan football team called Deportivo LSM. I suspect LSM stands for Luis Suarez and Messi. Here is Montreal in the right side of the box, and they have scored. They pull one back. Charging forward and scoring for Montreal is Dante Sealy, and that was too easy. Very little resistance from the left side of the Inter Miami defense, and Sealy has his second goal of the season, and Montreal has just a bit of life. The pulse can at least be felt, and it is 3-1 Inter Miami. Dante Sealy with the goal, spinning Noah Allen like a top in the 74th minute. So Inter Miami concedes once again. So Inter Miami still has some work to do to see this through. That is the 6th away goal of the season for Montreal. They came into tonight's second fewest in Major League Soccer in that category. Now we saw how quickly things could start to crumble against FC Dallas just over a month ago here in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami will want to cinch this up. 75th minute. And it is 3-1 Inter Miami. Inter Miami would love to find one more goal just to make sure that everybody can go home happy. Lionel Messi scored in the 27th. Luis Suarez with 2 goals here tonight. And Inter Miami, after a turnover in the midfield, here they come charging into the right attacking third. Messi right up the middle. Messi into the left side of the box. Had to tackle away momentarily. Now he has it. Now he surveys. Messi has Suarez, who will punch it out to Kromoski outside the penalty arc. And now Inter Miami will try and reshape the attack. And here is Noah Allen off a ball from Redondo, left of the area. Noah Allen will roll the ball back out 40 yards away. Davi Martinez. Good pass into the middle channel. Busquets comes forward. Messi, a short-range pass, was looking for Suarez. Had it blocked right back onto Busquets. 76th minute. Inter Miami still asking some questions. 3-1 Inter Miami on top. Noah Allen, left wing. Messi will just float a ball right back short range to Noah Allen near the far left touchline. And Inter Miami goes far side to near side. Ian Frey on the ball for Inter Miami, and he gives it off to Kromoski near right touchline. Good ball from Kromoski to Ian Frey, deep in the right side of the box. Frey is hit down, and the ball goes out of play, and the referee says it was a clean tackle, goal kick, Inter Miami. My goodness. Caden Clark coming in on Frey, and I got to say, Caden Clark got in front of Ian Frey. That is a legal play. That is a rightful non-point to the spot from the referee, John Freeman. And we talked about it at Philadelphia. Ian Frey has got to continue to work to be tougher with the ball coming from the wings. You cannot cede position like he did there. It happened to him also at Philadelphia. If you stay body for body or stay in front of the ball and take contact, you're going to get a point to the spot. But Ian Frey now twice in 2 weeks has allowed a defender to charge forward, and while he's physical, he gets in front of Frey, and that's legal. And now we have a hydration break in the 77th minute. Inter Miami 3, CF Montreal 1. 2 goals in a less than 2 minute span for Luis Suarez in the second half after Lionel Messi was able to collect a goal in the 27th minute. That accounts for the Inter Miami scoreline. For CF Montreal, they get a Dante Seeley goal. Good individual effort. The signing from back in February with his second goal of the MLS campaign. And it is 3-1, Inter Miami on top. Inter Miami has Columbus on Saturday for a fascinating, a delicious Eastern Conference matchup. Now, the question is, who's going to be available for Javier Mascherano? Because on June 14th, you've got Ali, the Egyptian side, as the opening match for Inter Miami in their debut in the FIFA Club World Cup from Hard Rock Stadium, south of us here in Fort Lauderdale, by about 15 minutes. You obviously want as healthy a squad as you can have, and tonight has not been good for that quest. If you also want to have a top-flight side against a team that is above you in the Eastern Conference table in MLS Saturday, Columbus Crew, who you're trying to sweep the season series from, because Gonzalo Lujan was injured in the first half, had to come off in favor of Tomas Aviles along the Inter Miami back line, but Aviles also injured at the end of the first half. Maxi Falcone replaced Aviles. Then Jordi Alba pulled up lame with an apparent muscle issue in the first half. Davi Martinez had to come into the match as well. You've already got Drake Callender, one of your goalkeepers, out for a significant period of time with a sports hernia surgery, or a procedure to repair a sports hernia. Probably more medically appropriate to describe it as such. A late whistle and a foul against Inter Miami, who was trying to get out on the attack. They had just made their way into the right attacking half. And Samuel Piet, who well before Inter Miami got into the attacking half, it hit the ground and then started clutching at his chest. The referee says Ian Frey fouled Piet. I don't think there was any contact there. I think Piet took himself to ground and then his chest bounced off the turf. I'm sure it didn't feel good, but he got the benefit of the whistle. And is something a wily veteran does, like Samuel Piet is in his 9th season with FC Montreal. And was on the 2022 Canadian World Cup side in Qatar. We are into minute number 80. Inter Miami 3, Montreal 1. And in fact, we're about to exit minute number 80 and head into our 81st minute of this matchup here tonight. Here's Petrasso. Left attacking half for Montreal. From that attacking half, trying to feed a ball to the top of the box, headed away by Inter Miami. And then a foul is called on Inter Miami's Fafa Pico as he was trying to win a ball away from Victor Latourie, 30 yards away. Quick restart for Montreal. 3-1 scoreline, Inter Miami with the lead. Deep from goal, outside right channel, Waterman. And now Montreal traverses itself left of the box. Played into the outside left channel, about 27 yards away. Now just outside the penalty D, Montreal works it far side and near side. Petrasso, high left edge of the box, sends in a floating ball to the far post, and it sails harmlessly out of play as Dante Seeley was making a run for Montreal, their goal scorer. He went to ground, appealed to the referee who said there was no contact, and it'll be a goal kick for Inter Miami after it went across that end line. Well, Inter Miami, it has been a busy year. They have played many matches in a tight span. And if Inter Miami gets out of the group stage of the FIFA Club World Cup, things will get even tighter after the fact. That is a good problem to have, but it is going to require some creative tactical planning from Javier Mascherano. Because Miami could have up to 4 matches moved if they get themselves into the final of the FIFA Club World Cup. They are scheduled to get back into MLS play on the 28th of June against Atlanta United. That would likely be the first knockout stage matchup, though, for Inter Miami if they advanced out of the group stage. So that would have to be moved, obviously. 82nd minute. Lionel Messi sends the ball left side of the box, right attacking third. It is fed into the area. Allen wanted Suarez, a clearance from Montreal across the far left touchline. And it'll be an attacking third throw-in for Inter Miami. Allen distributes on to Sergio Busquets outside left channel. And Busquets a square ball far side and near side for Kramaski. Kramaski attempting to go 1v1 with Waterman. And now Inter Miami will simply bandy the ball into the left defensive half and then work from there. Midfield circle Busquets. Send a ball to the left wing. Suarez in the attacking half. Give it right back to Busquets. And now Kramaski on the near side, about 40 yards away from goal. Messi comes to retrieve, and an overlap with Frey on the near right touchline. He'll dribble a ball onto Lionel Messi, and Inter Miami content to get back into its left defensive half. Busquets thought about feeding it to Ustari, his goalkeeper, who is playing out of goal by about 10 yards. Instead, Maxi Falcone, a little bit of a dicey delivery back to his goalkeeper. He was under duress from Owusu. That pass was scarily directed towards goal. Ustari, though, able to get on it. And then here's Inter Miami playing it out of the back. Right attacking third. Frey, full head of speed. Now to Messi. Charges forward. Left side of the area. It's Suarez again. Suarez wanted to feed it low to Messi, but it never made it through traffic. And then a Montreal clearance deflected off of Suarez. Far side touchline, and Montreal will have a throw. Suarez probably better served. Trying to take a shot there. He is right now apparently having a bit of a tactical discussion with Fafa Pico. I think he wanted to go to the far post, and Pico was not heading in that direction. And then a clunky foul against Luis Suarez. The Inter Miami defensive third. As he made some contact with Victor Lattori. Getting to the late stages of this one, 85th minute, Inter Miami 3, CF Montreal 1. Can Montreal give itself a chance? This is when Inter Miami turned it on at Philadelphia. They were down by the same exact score line and then scored twice after 85 minutes for the first time in franchise history. Inter Miami left attacking third, or Montreal, I should say, left attacking third. Pico side swipes right foot, a ball away from the box. Able to get in front of potential danger, and a whistle and a foul as Pico looks on after his defensive play. Noah Allen hit the ground, and he stays down for a second. Alexander Guboglo is into the match for CF Montreal. Saliba is off. As the ball rolls. Attacking midfield and defensive side of the pitch for Inter Miami. And then Oscar Ustari, as he tried to launch a right foot distribution from the left of his penalty arc. Overshot Fafa Pico far side on the midfield stripe, and going to be a quick throw in for Montreal. Good job by Ben Kramaski to win a 1v1 battle, though, with Petrasso. And Inter Miami in its left defensive third will just try and play keep away for a bit. And now Inter Miami once again right attacking third. Trying to make Montreal think about it. Also for housekeeping purposes, Fernando Alvarez has substituted in for Montreal, taking off George Campbell on the back line. Maxi Falcone in his defensive half, left side of this perfectly manicured natural surface here at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Find me a surface that is better taken care of in all of Major League Soccer than this one here in Fort Lauderdale. What a wonderful job they do. Ustari in front of his own box. And now Inter Miami will work its way right attacking half. Fafa Pico, right attacking third, will lay it off. Short range Suarez, and now here is Messi coming outside right channel to the inside into the penalty yard. Oh, a great 1-2 with Suarez, and a cheeky chip for Lionel Messi, who has scored a brace from the right of the 6-yard box. Lionel Messi, world class. That is beautifully done. Messi with the brace from Luis Suarez, who returns the favor from earlier in the half. Sensational, sparkling. 4-1, Inter Miami. 2 for Messi, 2 for Suarez, and 3 points for the Herons. It's just so pretty. A perfect 1-2. And then Messi chips the keeper for good measure. That was a wonderful pass from Suarez. And here are the Messi chants ringing out throughout this venue in Fort Lauderdale. Pink and black abound in the stands. 4-1 Inter Miami. And they will finally find themselves in the win column in advance of a massive matchup with Columbus Saturday prior to the FIFA Club World Cup. Montreal left attacking third, high ball left side of the area, and a good job by Inter Miami to fight for it with Ian Frey and win it, and a foul was called against Montreal. And Inter Miami is simply going to continue to tick down clock into the 89th minute. And this might be controversial, but Lionel Messi got man of the match at Philadelphia. I do think that I am prepared to give Luis Suarez man of the match honors tonight. Has 2 goals and an assist. And he has been extremely dangerous. This is the best he has looked since the early part of the MLS season, when Inter Miami was also trying to navigate through the CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. 4-1 Inter Miami. And we are going to learn our added time in mere moments. We wait on bated breath. A win in the defensive midfield for Montreal. Ball pinballs about, and Fafa Pico is called for a foul after a late whistle from the referee, John Freeman. Pico is not happy. Javier Mascherano making it official this week that Fafa Pico will not answer the call internationally for Haiti in the Gold Cup, because Fafa is absolutely, as you'd imagine, needed for the FIFA Club World Cup. Same story for Davi Ruiz. Miscommunication for Montreal as they made their way near the right side of the Inter Miami area, and the ball rolls out of play without any danger attached to it. And we have 3 additional minutes tacked on, 3 additional minutes of the 90 extra time from your local South Florida Audi dealers. Test drive the new Q6 e-tron today at your local South Florida Audi dealer, or visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. It's your South Florida Audi dealers. So everything a mere formality at this point. Inter Miami will take care of business against the bottom of the table side in the Eastern Conference, CF Montreal. It'll be only the second multi-goal loss for Montreal since interim headman Marco Donadel took over in late March. Montreal trying to find something here late. Left side of the box, Owosu, left foot, and Oscar Ustari tucked against the near post. blocked it out of play on a really aggressive attempt from Owusu with a left foot. That'll be a shot on target for Montreal, though it looked like it might have been headed towards the side of the goal, but Ustari obviously couldn't take any chances. And we are halfway through the 3 additional minutes. Here's the corner near side to far side for Montreal. And another goal. It was headed right of the 6-yard area by Alvarez, and it finds the head of Laturi, who is point blank on Ustari, and Montreal has scored again. So we're not through yet. A minute left in added time. Montreal is pulled to within 2, and that's an unacceptable set-piece corner goal that is tallied by CF Montreal. Laturi has his first goal of the season, and the assist for Alvarez, the second-half substitute. A double-header goal off the corner. Only 20 seconds left to go of the additional 3, but we'll see how much time the referee is going to give. Inter Miami is just simply going to try and stay in possession and head into the locker room with that 4-2 advantage. 25 concessions in the last 9 all competitions for Inter Miami. Certainly feels better when you score 4. But the defense has got to find a way to get back to early season form. Foul on Suarez. We are now past 93 minutes gone. And there is the final whistle. The match has come to an end. Inter Miami wins for the first time in 5 matches. The 4 straight winless stretch comes to an end. And all 4 goals courtesy of Messi and Suarez. A brace for Lionel Messi. A brace for Luis Suarez. Inter Miami 4, CF Montreal 2 on a celebratory night in South Florida. Next up, a huge matchup in the ho-ho-hum tune-up for the FIFA Club World Cup. And old nemesis Columbus Crew coming into Chase Stadium on Saturday under the bright lights of Chase Stadium, and need the Inter Miami fans full throat for that one, because Inter Miami certainly has some work to do to crawl up the table. As it stands, though, Inter Miami has pushed from 7th to 6th in the East. That is because of a victory tonight for Houston, 3-0 over New York City. So that helps Inter Miami push into 6th in the East. And now just within 1 of Orlando City, who currently trails 3-2 in Atlanta. So Inter Miami, this could be a promising night in the table, making up some ground on those ahead of them, and also leapfrogging New York City into 6th in the Eastern Conference. So Inter Miami beats Montreal 4-2 tonight. 2 goals for Luis Suarez, who is our man of the match. An assist as well for Suarez. Messi with 2 goals for Inter Miami. And Inter Miami with all 3 points in the Eastern Conference table. Want to thank Oscar Gonzalez, our on-site engineer, the OG. Here from Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Ken Levicka. Your final scoreline for a final time: Inter Miami 4, CF Montreal 2. Mike Rizzo has your post-game show in the network studios in West Palm Beach. This is Inter Miami football. Good night, everybody.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Knicks coming back in Game 3, I think, was one of the best things that could happen for the NBA, because there have certainly been some really good ratings in the playoffs so far within the NBA, specifically with that Game 3. 6.6 million people watched that New York Knicks Indiana Pacer Game 3 in Indiana, where the Knicks stormed back from being down as much as 20 to go on and win the game. Does the NBA need a big name like New York to be in the playoffs to continue this streak of good ratings? Time will tell, but 6.6 million speaks for itself. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Knicks coming back in Game 3, I think, was one of the best things that could happen for the NBA because there have certainly been some really good ratings in the playoffs so far within the NBA, specifically with that Game 3. 6.6 million people watched that New York Knicks Indiana Pacer Game 3 in Indiana, where the Knicks stormed back from being down as much as 20 to go on and win the game. Does the NBA need a big name like New York to be in the playoffs to continue this streak of good ratings? Time will tell, but 6.6 million speaks for itself. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Football legends collide at the opening match of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Al Ahly versus Inter Miami. Messi, Jordi Alba, and Inter Miami take on Jamal Mashour and Mohamed El Shenawi of the Egyptian powerhouse Al Ahly. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
PNC Bank couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. But you may be wondering, isn't PNC that boring bank? Well, is starting a business or being the first person in your family to go to college boring? For 160 years, they've done the occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. That's why they have dedicated teams throughout the local area ready to help you unlock your own brilliance. See what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121, or visit tworld.com today.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami Postgame Show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
And a cheeky chip for Lionel Messi, who has scored a brace from the right of the 6-yard box. Lionel Messi, world class. That is beautifully done. Messi with the brace. From Luis Suarez, who returns the favor from earlier in the half. Sensational. Barkley. 4-1, Inter Miami. 2 for Messi, 2 for Suarez, and 3 points for the Herons.
The Messi and Suarez game. That's what I'm calling this one. Inter Miami winners 4-2. Now, Montreal did manage to get in late, but Inter Miami was really able to dominate this one the entire first half and the entire second half. 2 goals for Montreal. They all came in that second half. Sealy in the 73rd, and then Luturi in 90+2 in extra time. It was a double header. You don't see that often. They got headed in from a corner kick inside the box, and then Lutari was able to find it off of the header from his teammate. So weird little goal for Montreal, but that is not the story. The story is Lionel Messi, 2 goals and assists. Luis Suarez, 2 goals and an assist. Luis Suarez able to tie his MLS season total of goals in one game. He had 2 goals heading into this game. Suarez able to find the back of the net twice in a 4-2 win over Montreal. Messi 2 goals, Suarez 2 goals, Suarez an assist, and Messi an assist. Let's go through the match facts in this one. We'll get to the highlights coming up in the next segment. You heard that highlight from our guy Ken Levica, the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, of Lionel Messi, as I said, calling game late in the, 88th minute. Lionel Messi called game. Now, I think a couple of things to monitor if you're an Inter Miami fan out there watching and or listening. We had injuries, right? Gonzalo Luan had to come out in the 12th. Toto Aviles had to come on in the 12th minute. So Luan out, Aviles in. We'll get back to Aviles in a second. Hector Martinez had to come in for Jordi Alba in the 24th minute. Alba, you saw him go down in the Philadelphia game a few times, even that San Jose game, but Alba went down in the 24th, got back up, walked off, stayed on the bench, dressed. But obviously, when he came off, he was unavailable, and Hector Martinez had to come in. So 2 guys in a matter of 24 minutes having to come off for the Herons in Gonzalo Luan and Jordi Alba. Lionel Messi would score in the 27th minute. Sergio Busquets picked up a card in the 42nd. That got us to halftime. I mentioned Toto Aviles coming in for Gonzalo Luan. Well, Aviles, before the end of the half, suffered an injury, and Aviles did not come back out onto the pitch in the second half. Maxi Falcone had to come back in. So 3 players played that right center back role for Inter Miami tonight, and that was not on my bingo card. And thank God, Inter Miami's deep enough to where Aviles and, Maxi Falcone were available off of the bench. So Falcone coming on in for Aviles. You had a couple substitutions for Montreal. Petiti came in for Pierce. Clark came in for Veroni. Telasco Segovia picked up a card in the 54th. George Campbell for Montreal picked up a card in the 58th. Another substitution for Montreal, Jules Anthony Visalant, came on for Jalen Neal. Hector Martinez, who came on in the game earlier, he picked up a card as well. And then that's when the goal avalanche started. Now, Oscar Ustari stood on his head before that, which we'll hear in the highlights coming up next segment. But the goals came after that, starting with Luis Suarez in the 68th minute. We didn't have to wait long. 3 minutes later, Suarez found the back of the net, 3-0. Fafa Pico came out for Tadeo Allende. Benjamin Kromoski came out for Telasco Segovia. Dante Sealy found the back of the net in the 73rd, 3-1. So Montreal getting on the board in the 73rd. Fernando Alvarez came on for George Campbell. And then Lionel Messi, as I said, called game in the 88th minute. And then Victor Luturi got in on a doubleheader goal in the Inter Miami box in 90 plus some change. And that brought us to full time. Folks, this is the Inter Miami postgame show. We are powered by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron, featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi technology. It's not just a new electric vehicle, it's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Q6 e-tron is the next chapter of Audi, and it's right here in West Palm. Test drive the 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron at your local South Florida Audi dealer today. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. AudiUSA.com to learn more. Taking our first time out of the postgame show. When we return, all the highlights in the 4-2 victory. Inter Miami beating Montreal, and Inter Miami securing their first victory in their last 5 games. More of the postgame show when we return.
May is National Burger Month, so grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's Sports Grill for a big Burger Blitz celebration. Enjoy Duffy's award-winning half-pound certified Angus beef original cheeseburger and french fries, starting at just $8.99 with the purchase of any beverage. Plus, don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks, all day, every day. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more, and remember, at Duffy's, our game is always on.
Don't miss Russo and Rizzo.
Colin did the warm-up to his Ironman. What happened?
I would say just about everything that could go wrong went wrong. They say go. I run out. I'm about 20 steps from the shoreline, and I step on something very sharp, and I gash my right foot open. So that's number one. Swimming to the bike. So I had to run on the beach, run on the pavement, run over a field and grass, get to my bike. Fast forward, I'm 21 miles into my bike, and then my rear tire explodes.
It's Russo and Rizzo, weekdays at 4 here on ESPN 106.3.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE, a luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $15.29 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $15.29 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The next chapter of Audi is here.
At PNC Bank, they pride themselves on being boring. But the truth is, they couldn't be more excited to serve the South Florida community. For nearly 160 years, they've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for their equally brilliant clients. Now, their dedicated financial teams are ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. Let's see what boring banking can do for you. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami postgame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Messi stays on the ball along the end line. Now he chips to the middle of the box. On to Suarez. Score! From just left of the penalty spot. Luis Suarez with the finish. Just like old times. Messi to Suarez. It's a deserved 2-0 lead for Inter Miami. And the two all-world players able to get on the same page. Suarez finally found his goal. 2-0 to the home side.
The Messi and Suarez game. Both players, 2 goals and an assist on the night. Obviously scored every single goal for the Herons tonight. And as the great, Ken Levicka says, just like old times. Welcome on back to the postgame show on your Inter Miami Radio Network. We are powered by that local South Florida Audi dealerships. Get on out to your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. Inter Miami picks up their first victory in their last 5 games. And as of right now, they are 6th in that Eastern Conference table. Houston beat NYCFC tonight, and Orlando City is currently down 3-2. And actually, that one just went final. So Orlando City losing 3-2. Inter Miami gaining some ground in that Eastern Conference. It is time to go through the highlights. 4-2, 6 goals scored in this game. Let's lead things off with Messi.
Now, Messi outside the penalty arc, a shot and a goal! A left-footed finish! Absolutely beautiful! A blast from Lionel Messi with conviction, with force. He put it off the near post, and it slides into the back of the net. Lionel Messi continues his tear. And that brings everybody out of their seats. Dazzling from Messi. 1-0, Inter Miami in the 27th minute. That was worth the price of admission.
I can almost guarantee you Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez are going to be a part of the MLS team of the match day. Messi already has been on it 4 times this year. It will be his 5th. And all the way back in week 2 against the Houston Dynamo, Luis Suarez was on the MLS team of the match day. Let's fast forward to the second half. This one was 1-0 for a little bit, folks. Oscar Ustari, who, listen, hasn't been at his best the last couple of games. He finally had a big moment, and he really saved Inter Miami from this one possibly being 1-1 early in the second half.
On a left foot, Ustari with a save, rebound, a second save for Oscar Ustari. A double save for the veteran Inter Miami goalkeeper. And there's the clearance. Sealy with the first delivery that was blocked away on a shot from distance.
And then Luis Suarez about 3 minutes later.
Messi stays on the ball along the end line. Now he chips to the middle of the box. On to Suarez. Score! From just left of the penalty spot. Luis Suarez with the finish. Just like old times. Messi to Suarez. It's a deserved 2-0 lead for Inter Miami. And the 2 all-world players able to get on the same page. Luis Suarez finally found his goal. 2-0 to the home side.
Did not have to wait long for his second. 68th minute, that was the goal for his first goal for Suarez. Then the 71st.
Piccolo cross. Kromoski back here. It was loose in the area. Suarez has another one. Trailing the play. Suarez just outside the 6-yard box has a brace. 2 goals in under 2 minutes. 3-0. Inter Miami in the 71st minute. And it's all 3 points to the South Florida side.
From the 68th to the 73rd, there were 3 goals. So, folks, put in perspective. Listen, I went to public school over here, but I could add 68 and 73 is 5. In 5 minutes, 3 goals. Montreal found the back of the net to make it 3-1.
Montreal in the right side of the box, and they have scored. They pull one back. Charging forward and scoring for Montreal is Dante Sealy, and that was too easy. Very little resistance from the left side of the Inter Miami defense. And Sealy has his second goal of the season, and Montreal has just a bit of life.
Now, that life didn't last long because in the 92nd minute, Messi called game.
Oh, a great 1-2 with Suarez, and a cheeky chip for Lionel Messi, who has scored a brace from the right of the 6-yard box. Lionel Messi, world class. That is beautifully done. Messi with the brace. From Luis Suarez, who returns the favor from earlier in the half. Sensational, sparkling. 4-1, Inter Miami. 2 for Messi, 2 for Suarez, and 3 points for the Herons.
Montreal managed to score in the 92nd minute, but the next play, the ball started rolling, the whistle was blown. And your final score, 4-2, Inter Miami over Montreal. Coming up next, we will pregame, or rather, we will talk about Columbus, who will be coming here to South Florida in a couple of days. Saturday, 7:30, the rematch of the Columbus Crew and the Inter Miami Herons. If we remember, Inter Miami played Columbus earlier this year in Cleveland. It wasn't in Columbus, it was in Cleveland, and Inter Miami was able to win 1-0. So we'll preview that one coming up. We'll check around the MLS and check the table and see where everyone is standing after a lot of games happened tonight. This is the Inter Miami Postgame Show on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Knicks coming back in Game 3, I think, was one of the best things that could happen for the NBA because there have certainly been some really good ratings in the playoffs so far within the NBA, specifically with that Game 3. 6.6 million people watched that New York Knicks Indiana Pacer Game 3 in Indiana, where the Knicks stormed back from being down as much as 20 to go on and win the game. Does the NBA need a big name like New York to be in the playoffs to continue this streak of good ratings? Time will tell, but 6.6 million speaks for itself. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
The playoffs are heating up, but your home shouldn't. Stay cool with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Football legends collide at the opening match of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Al Ahly versus Inter Miami. Messi, Jordi Alba, and Inter Miami take on Jamal Mashour and Mohamed El Shenawi of the Egyptian powerhouse Al Ahly. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Saturday, June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Oh, great. Just what I needed. More reasons to feel insecure. Have you seen the new ESPN 106.3 billboards on I-95? Theoretically speaking, with Theo Dorsey and CCAT, big smiles, looking all important. Russo and Rizzo with Colin and Mike, like they just solved world hunger. And me, no giant Evan Cohen face gazing down on traffic. Unbelievable. But hey, at least you can listen to us weekday mornings, 6 to 10 on Unsportsmanlike, along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman, right here on ESPN 106.3. Because let's be honest, a billboard couldn't contain this level of greatness.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami Postgame Show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Montreal in the right side. Piccolo cross. Kromoski back here. It was loose in the area. Suarez has another one. Trailing the play. Suarez just outside the 6-yard box has a brace. 2 goals in under 2 minutes. 3-0. Inter Miami in the 71st minute.
Louis. I believe there's a song that says that, but regardless, Luis Suarez, 2 goals and an assist. Lionel Messi, 2 goals and an assist. 4-2. Inter Miami winners over Montreal. Welcome to our final segment here on your Inter Miami Radio Network post-game show. We are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealers. AudiUSA.com to learn more. Get on out to your local South Florida Audi dealer today to test drive that brand new Q6 e-tron. I mentioned Inter Miami made up some ground on that MLS table. Going into the night, they were 7th place. Now they are in 6th place, thanks to a win by the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo were able to beat NYCFC tonight. And also, Inter Miami gained ground on Orlando City. Orlando City lost 3-2 in their fixture today. Or rather tonight. They lost 3-2 to Atlanta. So we have Miguel Almiron and Latilat to thank for that one in a 3-2 victory over Orlando City. Orlando City is in 5th. They have 27 points. Inter Miami right behind them on their heels with 26. As I mentioned, there were a ton of fixtures throughout the MLS. Let's get into all of them. I mentioned Atlanta United, winners 3-2 over Orlando City. And folks, the team I named first is the home team. So keep that in mind. On all these scores, the team that I named first is the home team. DC United drew against New England. FC Cincinnati drew 3-3 against FC Dallas. Inter Miami, obviously winners 4-2. Been talking about that one over Montreal. NYCFC lost 3-0 to Houston. New York Red Bulls won 4-2 against Charlotte. Toronto lost 2-1 to Philadelphia. Philadelphia getting all 3, and they have 33 points now, and they are still number 1 on that Eastern Conference table. If you remember, Inter Miami came back and drew against Philadelphia last Saturday, 3-3. Full-time in Columbus, the Crew tie Nashville 2-2. And then right now, a couple of fixtures in play. The Sounders are up 1-0 over San Diego. San Diego, a surprise team along with Vancouver. Top 2 teams in the Western Conference right now, Vancouver and San Diego. San Diego, though, down 1-0 in the 71st minute at Seattle. And then halftime, Austin FC and Real Salt Lake 0-0. Games to still be played tonight. 10:15 kickoff. The LA Galaxy, who won the MLS Playoff Cup, has 1 win on the year, 4 points total. They are facing off against San Jose. Portland at 10:30 facing off against Colorado. And then the nightcap that I will try to stay up and watch tonight, Vancouver versus Minnesota. I arguably think these could be the 2 best teams right now in the MLS. I know Philadelphia has something to say. San Diego, who's number 2 on the Western Conference table, might have something to say. But I think right now, Vancouver and Minnesota, 2 of the best teams going at it at 10:30. That is your MLS nightcap. Final score, 4-2. Inter Miami beating Montreal. It was the Messi and Suarez show. Both players, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, had 2 goals and an assist on the night, and they really gave Inter Miami a win that they needed. Now, Inter Miami, let's look forward for one quick second. Inter Miami will be facing off against the Columbus Crew on Saturday. I will be back live with the pregame show starting at 7 o'clock right here on your Inter Miami Radio Network, ESPN West Palm, ESPN 106.3. But I will be back here Saturday night, 7 p.m. We'll throw it to Ken LaVicka around 7:39 to be pitch side with our OG, Oscar Gonzalez. But a big fixture between the Crew and the Crew and Inter Miami. It's a home game for Inter Miami. If we remember, Inter Miami traveled to Huntington Bank Stadium in Cleveland to face off against Columbus. Columbus is owned by the same owners of the Cleveland Browns, the Haslam family. Looking on even forward to the Club FIFA World Cup. Al Ali, June the 14th, Inter Miami will open things up at Hard Rock Stadium. Inter Miami will also face FC Porto, Palmeiras, and hopefully other teams. And how about this? Let me rephrase. Hopefully Inter Miami can get out of the group stage. So 2 games I think they could win could be Al Ali and Palmeiras. I'm not too confident about FC Porto. Porto the last 2 years. Champions League 2 years ago, Europa League this year. Usually one of the better sides in that Portuguese league that floods in good teams like Benfica, Sporting, nonstop great players going to top-tier clubs as well. That Portuguese league, pretty doggone good. So, but I do think Inter Miami could at least win 2 out of 3 and advance to the group stage. But final score tonight, 4-2. Inter Miami will will have their last MLS fixture before the FIFA Club World Cup coming up this Saturday, 7:30 kickoff at Chase Stadium. I will be live with the pregame show starting at 7. A lot of thank yous here before we sign off. Thank you to the great Ken Levicka, the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, for doing a fantastic job as always. Our OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez, we love him. Our content director, Brian Rowitz. Our general manager, Stephanie Prince. I'm Mike Rizzo. We will catch up with you 7 o'clock on Saturday on the Inter Miami Radio Network.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming already in progress on ESPN 106.3.